Hey, true believers, England teen here with the real Dr. Venkman, except no substitutes. How you doing, sir?
If they do, I'll find out and I'll track them down.
Right. So, two pieces of big news today. One, I have been poisoned, food poisoned, and I thought I was okay, but holy Toledo, when I got home, it laid me low. I am not in the best of condition here. My entire body feels like it just wants to collapse in on itself. It's not very happy.
If you would have stuck to the bed, you could have said that what happened with the title is what made you sick physically.
Oh yeah. Let's go with that. No, I'm allergic to onions. We had a great day out, me and my daughter, my wife, and just went to a restaurant. Freaking fantastic Cajun shrimp dinner with some chicken in it. Not expensive. It's a good restaurant.
Sounds good.
But the thing is they didn't either change their gloves or utensils when they moved from one to the other. And yeah, holy Toledo. That being said, God help the toilet. More like I just need to sleep. I need to lay down and just chill. But I woke up for a little because I was sleeping. I woke up for a little bit and saw in the DMs that he's out.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do, Henry Cavill? He's done. He's out. It's finished. Kaput. Goodbye. You're too fucking old. It boils down to.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't know if I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I did not like the way he was portrayed in that movie for the most part.
Sure.
But I thought Henry Cavill did well with what he had. I don't hate the Man of Steel. I actually enjoy parts of it. But anyway, let's read this because this is in their own words. Man, I wanted to do chapters 3 and 4 of Scrooge tonight, but I just wasn't up for it. I will be doing that tomorrow night. It has been a bomb. Like nobody's watching it in the aftermarket. But you know what? It's fun to do. I had a good time. But let's share
got a good idea there. If Ahsoka's saying now he can work for Marvel, make him Hyperion. Say screw you.
That would actually that's oof. Okay, so here it is. This is Henry Cavill from Discussing Film. Apparently he posted this to his Instagram.
Yep.
Excuse me. I have just had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. After being told by the studio to announce my return back in October prior to their hire, this news isn't the easiest, but that's life. The changing of the guard is something that happens. I respect that. James and Peter have a universe to build. I wish them and all involved with the new universe the best of luck and the happiest of fortunes. For those of you who have been by my side through the years, we can mourn for a bit, but then we must remember Superman is still around. Everything he stands for still exists, and the examples he set for us are still there. My turn to wear the cape has passed, but what Superman stands for never will. It's been a fun ride with you all. Onwards and upwards. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is in his own words. Looks like that's that on this particular chapter of the DCU. I think what has got a lot of people up in arms, like you said, it's been a month ago we were going to get a new Henry Cavill Superman, and then we hear that he left another show that people liked with The Witcher.
Yep.
And people are like, whoa, you cannot do The Witcher without Henry Cavill. He is The Witcher. And then you find out, okay, now does this mean that the makers of The Witcher are going to be like, oh yeah, new guy, go yourself, Henry's back?
Oh no, yeah, that's Thor's younger brother. They're not going to kick him out. He's supposed to, he's every thing I see whenever someone leaves a show, whether it's death or by choice, he's the guy they recast the character with. They did it with the Spartacus, Blood in the Sand. After the original actor died of cancer, they brought him in. Now I see the same thing when I see Henry Cavill leave. Oh, hey, you want a job? Sure. Like, I don't get it, but yeah, Cavill's is now pretty much in a rock and a hard place because, well, obviously he's going to get more work. It's just that
Henry Cavill's not going to be wanting. I'm just kind of
done with DC because and James Gunn, his current tweet he did like an hour ago, he's going through. He said that I'm writing a new script now, and somebody asked, is it going to be an origin story? So he says no, but it was going to be a younger Superman.
Yeah. I know somebody joked and said, was it you joked and said they were going to hire Tom Holland?
Yeah, I said that.
God, I hope not. Let's get us. Look, they replaced young Thor in The Witcher. I got news for you. Young Thor, Thor's brother, actually wouldn't be a bad idea for Thor. Wouldn't be a bad idea for Superman. But I get it. I understand it. Okay, first of all, they want to wipe the slate clean. Warner Brothers has never failed to shoot themselves in the foot. I am so surprised that they got Harry Potter through all the chapters without fucking it up. But did you notice what happened with Fantastic Beasts? You get rid of all the creatives and all that kind of stuff, and Warner Brothers is going to shoot themselves in the foot. This has been true since I was a projectionist in the 90s. So, you know what? I also believe that had Black Adam been a bigger hit, we would be hearing a different tune. That being said, I'm going to throw it back to Warner Brothers because they put it out 2 weeks before Black Panther. Who saw that Black Adam's box office would drop so dramatically after 2 weeks? Who saw that coming? Everybody except for Warner Brothers executives. I'm sorry, but they do this thing. Movies do this thing. Like, oh, if you move, you're showing weakness. Yeah, against the Marvel universe, everybody's weaker. They are the biggest freaking swinging dick out there. And I'm sorry. Move your movie to where it's going to be the best. I said this about Shazam. I'll say it about Black Adam. It should have been at the end of August. That's their sweet spot. Shazam should have been a Christmas movie.
So do you hear what Robert Downey Jr. did for Iron Man? He said when he signed that first movie he did, a solo movie, he said, I'm signing a 10-year deal. Because that way they couldn't screw him over and say, like, we're going to recast you someone younger, kick him out. He's like, I'm not going to give, give up most of my time here and just saying, like, oh, we don't want you anymore. You're gone, we're rebooting you. Because I'm sure he saw what they did with the DC universe, constant rebooting stuff. He's like, no, I'm going to commit to this character. I'm willing to give you 10 years for this price. Imagine if Marvel is what it said, no, we don't want you. We're good. We'll just recast with a younger Iron Man. We'll have Iron Boy.
Well, it'll be
I'm scared
if we find out that the next movie is called John Kent, Son of Superman.
I was thinking of that. That's what they want.
Yeah, they want it.
Remember, he's Superman.
I'm sure the 12s of comic book readers that picked that book up would love to have that movie. And I would hold out that Warner Brothers is still reading Twitter going, no, seriously, people love this. It's going to be ridiculous.
Everyone's like, bro, it's like, yeah, you screwed us over. Thanks. Like a 10-year contract. We'll give you 3 and you're gone because you're going to. That's the thing. Do you think now? I don't know what James Gunn's got planned for other movies, but apparently Ezra Miller's movie's still coming out, even though the guy's wanted by the police or was.
Well, they're going to use that as the shifting point. And I'll tell you what, I want to see the behind the scenes stuff almost as much as I want to see the Flash movie. I mean, I do want to see the Flash movie. Look, have Ezra Miller go out into Europe and beat the shit out of everybody. I don't care. I care about what makes it up on the big screen.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff is just gravy. Now we got an excellent we got an excellent behind the scenes story and perhaps a decent Flash movie. We don't know.
You know what I think it is?
Put it out. Let me see it. As a matter of fact, I don't give a if you think it's bad. Put Batgirl on HBO Max. Shut the placate us for a little bit and make your goddamn universe with the understanding that everything we're seeing now is just movies, which is freaking okay. I think the Marvel universe has made some studios retarded with the fact that they think they need to connect everything all the time. You don't. DC would have been smart just to make a Black Adam or Shazam universe, make a Superman universe, make a Batman universe, occasionally cross over into Justice League, but make sure that the films individually, you can keep them apart. One of the best and worst things I think is about the Marvel universe is the fact that everything is so connected. There is no Thor film anymore. There is no Captain America movie anymore. It's got to be Captain America and these two characters, or there's always got to be some sort of crossover. And not everything was Marvel Team Up or Marvel 2-in-1. I don't know. Anyways.
Secret Wars, I want to have David Hasselhoff come back, reprise his role as Nick Fury.
I know. Without that, it's not a true Secret Wars.
Not even Secret War. What's it called?
You know what? I want this to happen in Secret Wars. I want David Hasselhoff to meet Sam Jackson and go, "I'm black." I want that to happen.
And then
it
turns out that Samuel Jackson's been the Skrull the whole entire time.
Yeah. Or both of them just meet each other and just go, "I'm black," and Sam Jackson's like, "I'm white." You know, I want that scene to happen. I think that would be funny as hell. Yeah. Let's see. They thought they were better at writing Harry Potter than Jake. I know, right? Well, she's saying mean things. I mean, she's right, but it's mean. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, like. So I'm wondering, did James Gunn say, "Hey, bro, he's friends with Cavill, you want to come back?" And then DC's like, "We're not paying him all that money."
Well, part of the problem, as you said, I mean, he is getting up there. I mean, God, you know, hey, I wish I had taken care of myself like he did, because you know,
he's like
40 years older.
Yeah, 39, I think it's all he's on.
Yeah, he's
young.
He's just a few years older than you. He's keeping his ass up. I mean, that man's a good looking man.
He's young, and the guy, no matter what movie he's in, even I don't care for the Batman versus Superman, but his role in that, his acting was great. Even Man of Steel is great at that. The plot is what's failed it, not the actor.
And there's a movie I know I love. I don't know a lot of people who have seen it who hated it, but The Man from Freaking Uncle. Can we get that?
Dude, that was great.
That was an incredible movie. Another actor, though.
It's funny because the Russian was actually he looked like he was weaker, even though he's supposed to be the tough guy in the thing. But Cavill looked like he could.
Oh no! I mean, look, what's his name? It was what's his name that eats people.
Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer, yeah.
Armie Hammer.
He looked big as freaking hell. He works in that role. I thought they were perfect together, but
did they come from that, the accusations like he eats people and stuff?
I don't know. It's done though. Whatever. It's one of those things. You're not getting past that. His girlfriend said that he dabbled in cannibalism. I mean, there's no getting past that. That I remember somebody like in the news did that, and they got up, like they tried human brain or something like that, and then it seemed like they could never get past the fact that they ate a human brain. There is no, I am no longer a cannibal to that. It's like, no, you know what? I was, but no, I'm not. No, you ate freaking people. You're done.
Did you say human brain or human brain?
Both of them are equally as awesome. Let's see. It's Superman, not Superman. Superman is a lame Chinese wannabe. All right.
Well, there is a Chinese Superman. That probably came from Grant Morrison. It seems like everything I don't like comes from Grant Morrison. I know these days. And
Tosh is giving us the good news that Clark is going back to Superman after one more issue. Tom Taylor's Superman series is canceled. Yes. We heard about that a while back, and that is good news, kids. I want to see the Flash badly, says Sasan Watson. Does that mean that you want to see it, like, say, without your glasses, or that you're very excited? I agree with E on this. It don't all need to be connected, and I get that can confuse the normies, but just entertain us now. Yeah, we just need the movies. Put out the content, and I don't want content the way it's been. Like I make content. Give us the movies. Simple. Don't put out literal trash just to put out trash, but also let us tell you what the trash is as far as all that's concerned.
So everybody's, I welcome to Mistletoe saying that WWE made dumb decisions where we are today, and a clean reboot would be does make a lot of sense. Yes and no. At this point, it's like they do a reboot and then they do another reboot. It's like DC with Final Crisis. How many crises?
The 2000s with DC was ridiculous. Oh, we're doing the Infinite Crisis. Now we're countdowning to Crisis. Now it's the Final Crisis. Guys, shut with Crisis for a little bit.
All I want is them to bring in hey, so you don't want Henry Cavill, he's too old. Then make Kingdom Come.
That would not be a bad thing. Look, Henry Cavill is not going to hurt as much as DC will for this. And I'm not saying DC is destroyed, and let's not get into the DC is dead. If I say it enough for long enough, I'm gonna be right at some point in time, right? And I'm sure somebody's got a DC is dead video just waiting to put out there.
Oh, they're already saying, like I said, I'll watch the Flash maybe if it comes out in Aquaman 2 and then maybe Shazam 2. After that, I don't know. I say if they do another Pattinson movie.
If I said that, I'm lying out my ass. I will watch every freaking superhero thing that comes to the big screen that I can.
Maranya is really upset. Take away my beefcake. So they can put in a guy with padded muscles.
Go to Shazam. He's in good shape, and yet still the Shazam suit has muscles.
I know.
The guy he doesn't look like me underneath that suit. The man's actually in good shape. And then they said, yeah, muscles. Yeah. Go figure, man. I like the I like that one Family Guy talking. It was Adam West, and he's like, oh no, there was no padded armor for me. That was all West.
He was. Yeah, that's right. He was in the skin tight like the suit,
Yep.
And so was Catwoman. Thank God.
Yeah, that was all Michelle Pfeiffer.
That
show.
I'm saying Eartha Kitt and Julie Newmar. That was all of them.
Both of them pretty damn awesome, but Julie Newmar probably marked my awakening. That is just flat out. Julie Newmar in that Catwoman suit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Heterosexual. Gotcha. All right.
So I really hope they don't do the John Kent. That was my other thought right away. When they said, "Oh, we're going for the younger earlier years," I'm thinking like, that's cool. And then, but he also said he's not expanding the Pattinson verse. So what is the point of this then? Are you dropping Pattinson then, or are you continue that?
So what I understand about that is they will let Matt Reeves do Matt Reeves' thing.
Let Cavill do his thing then.
Yeah. I don't know. DC should have taken a page from the original MCU, says Maranya, and make solid solo movies for their main characters before they combine them. I agree with that.
My thing is, for Cavill, though, if they say we're not doing the Snyderverse, but you keep Cavill in, you're getting the Snyderverse fans who love Cavill. They're going to still watch Superman story. And if you make it a little bit lighter, fans you're going to get both sides. I don't know. They just shoot themselves in the foot. But continue reading comments.
Mistletoe is saying Batman operating in a world where Superman exists changes everything. You can't ignore it. Either be connected or don't. Well, the thing is, if you pay attention to comics back when they were good, anyway, that would actually happen quite a bit. Batman's got his own thing. Superman's got his own thing. Everybody's got their own thing, and occasionally they would have crossed over, and a lot of times maybe for a big story or something. But they were in their own books, in their own little worlds and universe until it was time for them not to be. And yeah, if you put a little thought to it, it'd be like, okay, why isn't Superman here helping? Why isn't Wonder Woman helping? And so forth and so on. But it did make you enjoy and appreciate the solo characters a little bit more. I'm rereading Batman No Man's Land. And in no way, shape, or form does that happen and Superman not help.
Or other
If
heroes.
he's there, you go by his character. There's no way.
Yeah.
They do play a little bit with it, and Superman's like, well, Batman doesn't want my... No, that's not Superman. That line is out of Superman's character, because Batman's not going to convince him not to do his best to get people out of the rubble. It's still a great story, but once again, it's kind of it does serve to into what Missile Toad is talking about. It's just, it's out of character for Superman, but it's not out of character for comics to make sure that their character is facing the big problem without help from other people.
I had a problem with that too, and they should have. All they had to say was Superman was in space.
Yeah,
couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, that's a good way to get him out of the area. Let's see. Warner's had a 30-year head start on the MCU and fumbled that ball. Yeah, they never really thought about doing the movies as the comics did. And that's, I thought Warner Brothers dropped the ball mainly because they could have just done animated films from the very beginning. Right. They've got the most popular heroes, and they found out Superman was popular. On TV, Super Friends was popular. So let's get some animated freaking movies going. Why have we not had 50 freaking straight years of animated movies?
True. It's for a while they were pumping them out. I can't. The last one was Super Sons. Yeah. Other than that, I don't know.
That was actually a pretty decent movie too. Excuse me. Yeah. I'm like on the verge of sneeze. I am horrible tonight. Cavill's the closest generation will ever get to the Christopher Reeve model playing Superman. If he was written that way, yeah. But he was a great, he played Superman great. I know it's not a high bar, but to me it does go Christopher Reeves, and then Henry Cavill, and then the others. Probably Brandon Routh. He's good, but
Brandon Routh was a good. It came down to they had a horrible script.
It was not a good script. Johnny Depp could have been the Sandman in the 90s. I think so. Let's see. Yeah. Public service announcements will be bombing Pearl Harbor. I don't think he has the energy today. I'm trying.
And plus, I can't.
I'm trying.
Yeah, that was the biggest flaw. Is like Superman's going to leave the Earth for 5 years. Just abandon the Earth so he can go look for parts of his planets and stuff. I was like, and then he would never do that. He did that. The only part he ever did leave Earth like that was during as Exiles. Now is for the post-crisis. Anybody who's listening who doesn't care, drink. Because I'm going to say post-crisis as much as I want. But anyway, my point is, he felt like he's a broken man. He had basically been like having a split personality. He left because he's a danger to the Earth. But eventually comes back, realizes, you know what? I was an idiot. But the way they wrote that script for Brandon Routh's Superman Returns, that was not. He would not willingly choose to leave the Earth unless there was something serious, like as far as something wrong with him. But then again, he comes back, finds Lois has had a baby without him, and somehow survived. That's the other thing. I was like, we all watched Mallrats. We've all seen that scene with Stan Lee. So.
Kind of wish they'd put more energy into other characters in DC. Did you hear what they did cancel? There was a planned TV show. Kevin Smith talked about this. He was asked to do an episode of an animated series that was going to be like Strange Tales, or what is that? Strange Mystery, the one with Adam Strange or something, whatever. Strange Adventures.
Yeah,
it was going to be Strange Adventures, but it was going to be focused on different characters. Like I think he said he was going to do a Dead Man series, not a series, but an episode. I think that is a great freaking way. That's synergy right there, man. Get people interested in the comics, get people interested in other characters. If they're popular in the animated, you either give them their own animated series or you get them on the big screen. Stop it with I'm going to say this right now. Stop it with the freaking universes. Let Marvel, be DC. Put your freaking movies out. Make them good. Make them cross over when it's necessary. They don't have to cross over all of the time.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Brave and the Bold cartoon showcased so many different people you normally even see, and it was a popular show for that reason.
I swear though, but if you listen to the opening of Brave and the Bold, and then listen to the opening of the 1980 late 80s, early 90s Tick cartoon, they're exactly the same. I mean, they're exactly the same. Check them out, except for, of course, the lyrics and all that kind of stuff. What do we got? My 4 favorite Superman actors are, in no particular order, George Reeves, Christopher Reeves, Dean Cain, Henry Cavill. I would take George Reeves out and put Tom Welling. And I know he basically played Clark Kent and not Superman, but I thought he nailed the part. Plus, the man was like 18 feet tall, and he's freaking gorgeous even today. So what you gonna do?
He's still like, I think he's like 6'2" or something like that, but he's got the build now versus then. He's older. Wow.
That one scene in that crossover, the Infinite Crisis crossover. My favorite line is, "Wow, I don't miss this." But it was, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the animation's just not the CEO of Warner. I know, right? It should have been at the very beginning. We should have been getting all sorts of animated films in the 1980s and 90s, and imagine the excitement. It would be just like Disney, you know?
Yeah.
And the reason why I blame Warner Brothers for this and not Marvel is, if you read the history of the Marvel Universe, Stan Lee's been trying to get movies up since the 60s. He actually stopped being editor of Marvel and really cared about the comic books in the 1970s. Stan Lee didn't give a shit. Stan Lee was interested in hitting the TV circuit, hitting the movies. He wanted to be a script writer at that point, and he was trying to sell. Marvel didn't have their own studio. DC had Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers had DC. So Warner Brothers should have been the freaking what do you call it? The
go-to place for movies.
That's not they should have been. Yeah, I guess that's
the cream of the crop. You know, the go-to example.
They should have been the leaders.
Yeah,
they should. And right now, as always, as they did after Mark Weisinger was like, that Marvel stuff, that's a fad. No, the kids are going to come back. Kids are going to come back. And he really just kind of put the boot on the creative necks of all the DC writers and artists. They did the same thing with their characters in animation, with their characters on the big screen. For fuck's sake, Marvel's first movie was Howard the Goddamn Duck. Marvel did not leave the freaking chute running. Marvel saw that little rabbit that was going around and all the other dogs rushing out, and Marvel started licking its own balls. Marvel was not the leader in any way, shape, or form as far as movies getting out. Holy crap. They didn't really make a big blockbuster until Spider-Man. Blade was okay. Blade got some attention, but it really didn't hit until it was on DVD. So in 1978, DC Warner Brothers actually sold their movie to 20th Century Fox. It's like, oh, hey, I got this great idea. Blam. Right in the foot.
Dominic, would you miss? Well, Cavill said on Instagram, he said he's no longer going to be Superman. The studio has decided to go separate ways. James Gunn admitted that he's basically writing a younger Superman story. People are pissed because Matt Reeves is still it's basically become the Nolan verse, as somebody said here. I think it was Jay Lucian. They're letting him become the Nolan while they can decide what they're gonna do. But yeah, I'm pissed because I would have loved the scene. If this is the case, they didn't want him, then they shouldn't have said anything to him. Let him stay being the Witcher. I was happily fine with that because Cavill's a good actor. But now I have to figure out what I'm going to do.
He finds himself franchiseless.
Yeah.
Now I would hope that part of the conversation involved lawyers, and Henry Cavill said, well, you're going to do something. You don't want me as Superman. You're going to do something because I left a franchise for you. And then you guys said no. So you're going to do something.
Well, the other thing is that was it James Gunn, and it's this side like, oh, we just sat down, we had a conversation with Cavill the other day, me and Peter, like it went very well, possibly doing some stuff with us, working in the future with us. Like, what do you mean future? Like, but you're just gonna say, oh, he's too old for everything.
Well, that's gonna put a little bit of that's gonna put something on the audience. The audience, if Henry Cavill is in the DC universe and he's not Superman, it's going to take the audience to look and go, okay, he's now this new character. And who would that new character be? Look, I'm A-okay with him being a different character. I'm fine with Jason Momoa being shifted from Aquaman to what we're hearing is Lobo. Yeah. I'm fine with that. I am okay and smart enough to realize that actors play different roles. So I'm not going to lose my shit. It's just okay. Let's see what you're gonna do. I mean, because I wanted to see more Henry Cavill as Superman, but to tell you the truth, if we're being completely honest, we wanted to see more Henry Cavill as Superman 2 years after the first movie. Now he is aging out. I'm sorry, but he is. I'm not taking away from him. The man looks better now than I ever did at his age or younger. But. Yeah,
they're bringing up in the chat. I was gonna bring this too. Henry Cavill he's a huge fan of the comic books. He said in the interviews, "Hey, if they let me come back, I want to do like a Christopher Reeves type Superman movie." Because he said all everybody knows now. Because he said all the normies now, all they know is that Superman is a killer. Like, they don't know anything about the character. They say it's Man of Steel was not a portrayal of Superman. That was a portrayal of Kal-El with no morals. He said he wants to do it, but and it seemed like everything was going to go right, but it always happens every freaking time.
Okay, so we're getting Ahsoka and MK in there talking, saying that he left The Witcher because apparently they said screw the fans and they were trying to get away from the lore. And yeah, he's a geek. He's got geek cred.
Sure. But the thing is, I don't think he was going to leave right away because he was offered the role of Superman. And I think that's what made him finally decide to leave the show, because he was fighting the whole entire time with them, with the writers.
Who would you put Henry Cavill as if he's not Superman? That's a big question. In the DCU.
In the DC universe?
Yeah.
Cast him as Orion. I don't care. We'll just do New Gods.
Orion.
Put a helmet on him. Oh, wait. Oh, they'll bring John Cena for that because they like.
That's the helmet.
Yeah.
They're similar helmets. That's another thing. See, they do have a lot of good and popular stuff even still. Look, Suicide Squad just breathed some new life. Yeah, the first movie didn't do well, but maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I have a feeling that part of the reason the Suicide Squad didn't do well is because the original Suicide Squad soured in people's mouths. And let's be completely honest. That movie made bank. People enjoyed it. And then when they're looking at their social media, everybody's freaking hating it. So let's jump on that goddamn wagon and go about hating Suicide Squad anyway. So when the second one comes out, who wants to see that movie? And that movie was good. That movie was a hell of a lot of fun, and it led to a fun TV show that people also enjoyed. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear how people hate Peacemaker and all that kind of stuff coming up.
Well,
it'll be the new thing.
Peacemaker works for that. They want to do that. It's cool. It's almost like a Garth Ennis kind of story type, with the gore and all stuff. Now, having a younger version, I honestly, God, I hope they don't go, we're doing Smallville now. Or, I mean, if they go with John Kent, it's like, they're just going to say like, well, what do we know about John Kent? He's gay. All right, let's go with that. I don't trust the writers. I don't trust the DC universe. They've shown time and time they don't know how to stay on something, and like I said, I don't really blame James Gunn, because maybe it might have been out of James Gunn control. It could have been the top executives just didn't want to pay him, or they just feel like, you know what, we can get an unknown actor and have him play a younger version, and we can lock him in a 10-year deal where he can't get increases as he gets popular. Because maybe Cavill's just too popular. That's the thing. Because that's why DC and Marvel both go for the cheaper writers. You know.
Now, Maranya's mentioning Henry Cavill could jump ship and go be Captain Britain, the real Captain Britain, not Lacey Chabert Captain Britain or whatever her name was. She played, what is it? She played Carmen Sandiego. God damn it, what was her name?
Joel, you're right.
I can't. Britain. I'm sorry, guys. I'm normally my memory is messed up.
For what? What
was her name? Not Katie Seagal, the frickin' Captain Carter. That was it. Agent Carter. Yeah.
That was Haley Bennett.
No, it's Haley Atwell. Instead of course, that you bring Henry Cavill in, and he can actually be Captain Britain. That'd be cool.
That's they're saying. Yeah, Joe was saying that Captain Britain. You know, because I've seen that too, and it looks pretty cool. It's like, but I don't know. It's like, say he leaves Marvel and DC, what other roles would you see him in other companies if they decide to do movies like Dark Horse or any other Image? You know,
Goon. Why not? You know, there's you could put him into anything. He's a good actor. He is, and I don't blame DC for wanting a younger cast. I don't. They're looking at something where they could start and then have 10 years worth of movies. The problem, and in all honesty, here is the biggest problem I had with this, and it's something that I have now rolled my eyes every fucking time I see it. Don't give me a list of movies you're about to make. Don't give me a list of movies you plan. I don't want to hear about the plans. All I want to hear is, oh, here's our trailer to the movie that's coming out next week. Yeah, I don't give a because in 2017, we get this whole line of films that they're going to have, and it looked awesome, and we went, woo, looks awesome, and then they did none of it because Warner Brothers shot themselves in the foot because and they did it before again. Oh my gosh, Batman and Robin was not a big success. Well, you know what was a success? Batman Forever. And before that, Batman Returns. And before that, Batman. You let one movie derail your entire plans. That's what happened. The best way to beat a bad movie is to put out a good movie. And they didn't do it. They freaking panicked. They also shot themselves in the foot by not following Marvel. Well, we don't want to be exactly like Marvel. Then you're a fucking dumbass. I'm not saying copy them word for word, but they gave you a freaking template. 4 movies to introduce your characters and then the big crossover. Let us get to know them, and then you put them into the big story. Each one has their own origin movie. That's fine. They're fighting their own bad guys. And along the ways of fighting their own bad guys, they all discover the mother boxes. Yep. And now that the mother boxes have been reunited, it opens the door. It opens the boom tube to Apocalypse. And we don't get fucking Saffron or whatever his name was. By the way, I know his name. We get Darkseid. And he's the big freaking bad. And he doesn't get pwned in the first 5 minutes of the movie and then expect us to look at him as the big bad guy at the end of the movie. Sorry, I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, but that is a huge freaking mistake. They actually have Darkseid get defeated in the beginning and then expect us not to remember it just because it's a 4-hour movie. I'm sorry. No, they weaken Darkseid. Okay, but that's my rant. I'm not going to bomb Pearl Harbor or anything, but that's my rant.
Oh, DC's already bombed. They said DC just did their own cell phone. That's the biggest thing they can do themselves is screw themselves over and over again. Like I said, now I'm trying to be optimistic because but I'm just tired of same with Spider-Man. Like I don't want Tom Holland for 10 years.
I'm fine with Tom Holland for 10 years. He's doing well. Let's go. But unlike the comics, let this guy grow up. Let him grow the up. The comics have, every time he gets a little ahead of himself. Oh, we gotta take him back to zero. Let them get together. Let them be. They're married. They're gonna be married in real life. Let them be married on big screen. And let's see a grown-up Spider-Man.
Baco Scott, I agree with you. At least saying that at least DC, unlike DC, at least Zack Snyder actually had a plan, a world-building plan. He was building a world, and they didn't want to back him.
Well, at the very least, yeah, and I get it. But it's done. I mean, I know you go on frickin' Twitter and, but the Zack Snyder. It's just, you know what? Shut the fuck up. It's done. I'm sorry. But it's like a freaking child. You're driving down the highway. They throw their toy out the window. Oh my gosh, the toy flew out the window. Well, then you lost it. I'm sorry, but no, I was not that dad who freaking went on the big ass highway to get the freaking stuff. Actually, I did do that once. The second time, it's done. Zack Snyder's anything is fucking done. Stop the fucking whining. Holy shit. You're holding on to literally nothing. It's not happening. You were lucky to get the goddamn Justice League, which was a great film that fucked up Darkseid, but at least it was a great fucking film. Grab onto that. You know what? Shift your freaking focus over to Suicide Squad now and then get that freaking movie made. Stop it with the whining. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's not even that fucking good. He isn't. He's not that great of a director. Look, he's got some good movies. I like 300. I like Dawn of the Dead. That's fine, but he's not the fucking be-all and end-all of fucking comic book movies. It's fucking ridiculous. It is goddamn ridiculous. These little fucking whiners on Twitter all the fucking time. Shut up. It's done. He's not that great. It was done. It's over. Jesus, Lord in heaven. Is there anything on Twitter in the comic verse that has become more annoying than the goddamn Snyderverse guys? Seriously?
Well, there is only one thing, where the people who criticize Batman and then admit they don't read it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Other than modern day comic book writers. But with the movies, I'm sorry. Zack Snyder's done. Get on his fucking board. Or get the fuck off, because you're not getting it.
Yes.
And it's really, you're coming off like a fucking child who lost their toy, and no matter what or other toy your parents buy you, it's just not good enough. It's old Fluffy. Well, you know what? Fuck you then. All right, kid. And look, by the way, when you tell your children that, they do learn to grow while hating you. I do not recommend that. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, and as Skip pointed out, Dawn of the Dead was a great movie. But guess who wrote it? James Gunn.
What's my thoughts on Nolan? Nolan was good for Batman. He didn't make Batman comic book movies. He made Batman superhero movies. It's hard to he made movies with Batman in them rather than making Batman movies, if that makes any sense.
Well, yeah, Batman.
I think the closest he came to a Batman movie was Batman Begins, but the other two were movies that had Batman in them. I think you could have, and I love The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight. I love The Dark Knight, but Dark Knight, okay, that feels more like a comic book movie than Dark Knight Rises. Yep. But Dark Knight Rises, put any hero in there. Put any. Just change the names, and you don't need Batman. I guess I've got to say it's really the third one. I think I'm off on the second one, but definitely Dark Knight Rises was a generic film that had Batman in it. If that, there you go.
I can't fault them for the third movie because they were supposed to have Heath Slater come back for the third movie, and because he OD'd, yeah, that's why they did change it.
Heath Slater?
Oh, no, sorry. I mean Heath Ledger. Sorry.
Ledger. Okay.
I'm thinking of wrestling.
I want to know if I hear you, because in all honesty, my head. If you ever
Pressure.
yeah, that's how my head is right now. It's
Take some
people
allergy
who are
pills.
bad Batman hooked up with Batgirl. Oh God, that was a horrible
You
thing
tried
there.
taking any Benadryl? Does that help at all?
Yeah. No, I fell asleep. I woke up. I saw that this thing was going on, and I figured, okay. I was hoping I'd feel better enough to do the Scrooge thing, but yeah, we're good. We're good.
Bill Murray Scrooge. That sounds great.
Let's see. Yeah, I like most of Snyder movies, but his time has passed with the DC. WB is screwing up everything else. Yeah, you know what? I what was that zombie movie he did?
Army of the Dead.
Snyder. Didn't care for it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
But he did that. He did the prequel with the thieves. Holy crap, that was good, man.
No, I didn't see that because I didn't like that character. I don't want more of him.
Yeah, well, I get it. I understand it. I just like that movie a hell of a lot more than Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead had a horrible script.
Yeah,
but a horrible script.
But I gotta say though, the way they put that actor takes in there,
mm-hmm.
if you would have told me that she was by herself and never in and they just added the green screen and all stuff to it, mm-hmm. I never would have believed you.
Yeah, I gave a lot of props to her because she made it believable. Now, and by the way, I say she made it believable. Zack Snyder made it believable. The rest of the cast, no, because when she was filmed, it was Zack Snyder was her, you know? So I got to say, I never thought that her, because she's a comedian, and she's kind of funny sometimes, but she made you believe that she was there. Yeah, it was pretty damn good. I love Watchmen, by the way. I got that big ass box set. This thing is, hold on, I'll be right back.
So moment of silence for all those who wanted Amy Adams to come back as Lois Lane, because you're not getting it either if Cavill's out. But overall, like I said, I'm just kind of done with DC. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just sick of the reboots. That being said, I'll give this new actor a try.
To watch it right here.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, this weighs like $60 now or more. But this is the way to watch it. Have you ever gotten this one?
I've never watched that. Is it director's cut?
Oh, no. This is the director's cut.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah. This one's the director's cut. This is and I just found that at a thrift store for like $2 like 2 days ago. But this is, gosh darn it, just come on.
Yeah, Baca, I'm with you. I'm kind of done with Marvel. I'm kind of done with DC. After the last couple movies come out for Marvel, I'm kind of done with that. Phase 6 is like supposed to be promising, but everything's coming out. Like they announced Fantastic Four. I'm like, it's another thing. You gave us fan service. You gave us John Krasinski, but now you're saying like, oh, we're gonna recast him. We're not gonna have John Krasinski because that was only for that.
Yeah, for that one.
I was like, no.
This set comes with a motion comic, but it's like, I
hate those ones.
What is really cool about it is that, this thing's like 3 freaking discs long, but it has the movie, but it also has the black sails, whatever it's called, the comic book the kid's reading, just like in the mini series that's put into the film. You've got the director's cut of the movie in here. So everything had been added in. So this is a long ass movie. This how much longer did they make it is the big question. I know I thought it was on here somewhere, but
can you imagine if Xenoscope decided we're gonna start throw our head and start doing these live action movies? It's like, I could wonder because I was looking like we had a Vampirella thing, but they originally were gonna and back then they changed it. They didn't want to do the costume because the costume was too risky, so they changed it. Or at least they added a little layer to it so the actors would feel a little bit more modest. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if they did one today though, but like decided, you know what, we're gonna actually make it look like it is a comic book. So we're gonna go with that, make it a hard R, and actually focus on her, being a badass, with the gore. Basically what we wanted from Blood Rain, but we didn't get from Blood Rain. And just have her going against monsters of the night, creatures of the week and monsters, just ghouls and stuff, and just And that's kind of what they want with Red Sonja. If they did, they're talking to do a Red Sonja, but they're focusing on the Gail Simone run. And that's a red flag for me. Now that being said, it could be good, but it just seems like these people that want nothing, they're like, oh, we'll take the name and that's it. They don't want to follow any of their source material. You don't have to follow all of it, but at least keep the personality right of the character. So I'm scared of as far as what they're going to start doing with some of these DC characters, because they're already shown that they don't care about the character; they care about the name. And they're like, oh, it's a popular character, so we'll do it, and then they make it nothing like the character.
Yeah, it is weird the way they do that. Baca is saying that he's mad at how Marvel did Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes did Marvel wrong. Have you heard the stories about Blade 3? It was a train wreck on Wesley Snipes' side.
Why did he have say? Did he have say in as far as what's going on in the story? Because I didn't think Blade 3 was that bad. Everybody says it is.
I watched it and immediately you get the opening where he gets to the truck and then the car backs out and went, oh, it's a video game. Okay, I thought I was watching. Yeah. I actually said that out loud in the theater. Oh, it's a video game. Okay. And from then on, I couldn't take the movie serious. And then as I realized I was more watching a Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds movie.
Sure.
I was like, okay.
They should have given him a spinoff.
Yeah, but the thing
if that's what you're doing it for these characters. Yes, Blade was kind of a mentor. Like, regardless, you have to force work with these newbies, you know. And
you could see the backstage trouble on screen on Blade 3. You can watch it and you can see it's like way too many times the fight was obviously not Wesley Snipes. You could actually see it on screen that Wesley Snipes wasn't living up to his end of the bargain.
But
let's see. I don't mind the change in the end of the. Well, me neither. Actually, I think I don't think the alien would have played as well as what happened in the movie. Let's see. I liked Army of the Dead, to be honest. Cool. An interesting take on the zombie genre. I'm also tired of the MCU. Like they actually don't seem to have a plan. I loved Black Adam. Me too. Black Adam, as I said in my review, it was a very flawed film, but damn, it's a lot of fun. It was just a good time.
Joe, I've actually seen some of the Brazilian models that actually can pull off the look for Vampirella. Vampirella's costume.
Mm-hmm. So we had Talia Soto. She pulled off the look.
But the costume was fat and like latex instead of being skinny and stuff. Mm-hmm. I guess they were afraid that they have a nip slip.
You're probably gonna get that because they don't want it to be if you go back and you actually check out issue 1 of Vampirella, it is for adults only. It's not straight up porn. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's racy. And if they're gonna want to make a movie, even an R-rated film, they gotta add a little bit material to the outfit. It's
what they've done with the Project Superpowers with Dan Abbott's doing, and she's got the shirt on, and she's kind of like it's a '60s version of her, and so for modest reasons they have that. I mean, if they really wanted to change the costume, I wouldn't be upset about it. My thing is that when they said they changed the character completely. They're afraid to do it because they want to tone it down. Like, wow, that's sexist. You can't do that. It's like, well, ma'am, it wasn't written for you. It was written for guys. If you don't like it, then don't read it. Well, guys can't read it either because I don't like that. Go back to your church. It sounds like the '90s thing again. It's like we're policing what we can read and what we can't read in versions. It's just too many Karens and too many people listen to them.
Talisa Soto was good Vampirella and Katana. Oh yeah, that's right. She was in the sequel, the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I believe it was her cousin. Yeah.
What would you think? Asks Ahsoka about a 2 to 3 year gap between the Phase 3 and Phase 4, with Peter actually being the leader of his own Avengers.
Oh, Peter Parker.
2 year gap without a Marvel movie. Can the world exist with that happening? We always get a 2 year gap between, at the very least 2 years between each franchise film. Okay, if you want to age them up, I'm fine with that. Let's see what happens.
I would have seen the thing is that with Spider-Man, I wouldn't. If you're gonna age him up, that's great, but I wouldn't have him like part of the Avengers. No, let him have a supporting cast in his movies, like they did, because that's what sold the original copies, and that's what everybody liked back then, and that people still like. And work out for normies, so you can have a supporting cast in there and still have a villain introduced.
How old is Ronda Rousey these days?
Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, wasn't she like in
30s?
movies? Everybody was yeah. Is she in her 30s? Okay,
She's got to be. I think she's a little older than I am. Most,
so
and that's because I'm at that point in my life where I noticed that, like, wow, these women in wrestling, they look how old are these? I'm like, crap, they're my age now.
They always had been.
I know. It's just that I'm getting caught up.
Yeah, the problem with that, for as bad as it is for men as they get older, it's actually worse for women. Sorry, it's just one of those things. Women tend to get treated like freaking royalty when they're younger. Men usually get that when they're older. The George Clooney effect, if you will.
How about a Gladiator reboot? We just put Henry Cavill in there.
Yeah, there you go.
There you get Beefcake right there with him. You know,
I saw the on Peacock they have that new romantic comedy with Julia Roberts and George Clooney. That was entertaining.
I keep forgetting she exists as I see the commercial.
Julia Roberts?
Yeah. Because she kind of dropped off.
She went to have a family and take care of her family, and when she comes back, it's like, oh yeah, we remember you.
Hugh Grant, same thing. He's gone. Like, I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion, it would be a lot better if we had an Avengers movie this year. Yeah, I think they dropped the ball a little bit. I know everybody and their brother has done this is why the Marvel what is it, phase 4 or whatever they're calling it, why it sucked. I think the biggest thing is it didn't lead to anything. Even though, like, say, all the movies didn't lead to Marvel's Ultron, it was kind of a period or an exclamation point on that phase. Like the Avengers movies were the end of every phase, and it just felt like it was like everything was leading to something, and it was as we got Endgame. I think it would have, since they basically gave us almost 2/3 of the original Marvel universe. They gave us 2/3 of the original Marvel movies in 2 years instead of 20. They gave us 15 projects. And if it had led to something where everybody converged to help like it did in Endgame, okay, I think we would have been a little bit better with that. But it kind of seems pointless because instead of everything leading here, it kind of seems like it's going this way, and it's not really all leading to the same thing. It's not, okay, you're doing the multiverse, but they're doing the multiverse over here, and you're saying Kang's the big bad guy, but over here it's high evolutionary. What are you talking about? You know, it's like, okay. There's no focus to the Marvel universe right now. They needed a focus, and they needed a big bad phase 4 guy, especially if you're going to drop 15 movies and TV shows on us. Have it end with the big bad being taken out. And I can understand if they wanted to escalate and if they wanted to speed things up. Okay, we got 15 things because we don't want another 10-year gap between us announcing here comes Thanos and Thanos actually appearing. I get that if they want to kind of speed things along a little bit. I'm fine with that.
I know, like Guardians 3 is the only reason I'm looking forward to that because, you know, it's not because it's James Gunn's writing, because it's the fact that they have Adam Warlock in it. And I'm hoping they go with evil Adam Warlock at the end, you know, or something like that.
Magus, I think.
Magus, Magnus, whatever. I don't know. But yeah, and Mr. was asking us what lesser known characters would I want to see get a movie or TV show. Well, I'm scared with TV shows when it comes to Disney Plus. They've proven that they look at She-Hulk. I would hate to get another. You know what? I love.
Yeah, let's pretend for a little bit that competent people who love the characters are going to be making the movies, not somebody who's on freaking Twitter who wants to pwn the haters.
So if that was true, okay, so if I was going with it, they actually give a shit about this. I'd forget the Captain Marvel stuff, and I would bring her back as Miss Marvel. I would have Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers in the swimsuit. Sorry, the one piece, going around and going based off the 2005 run, and having her fight against the Brood. You could even have the X-Men involved. Even imagine the Brood saga. Like they did that with the X-Men, and they just got it right. They actually took the time. They brought in people who actually wrote the stuff. Brought in Roger Stern, or even some of these other guys, and said like, you know what, this sounds really cool. We'll do this. Actually get someone who actually was part of it. Have Chris Claremont write the script if you have to. I don't care. But it doesn't have to exactly be like the Brood saga we saw on the comic books, but at least get where she becomes binary or whatever, after that, and then Warbird.
Yeah.
Like,
and
then
I want to do this for Marvel and DC. For Marvel, I don't know if you guys remember. I know we've got some younger people in here. I know you older people remember this. Mad Magazine had a comic in it called Spy versus Spy. And I think going over to Marvel, once again, we're pretending that people who actually know the characters and care about the character are doing this. I would love to see a character called Paladin and a character called Fool Killer. And they're both assassins. And I would at least, one's bad, one's good.
Right.
The Paladin being the good guy and the Fool Killer being the bad guy because he's a little bit up in the tops. And I think it would be kind of cool with making a spy movie with these two, almost like a spy movie, but farcical because they're back and forthing, trying to get the MacGuffin, all the while foiling the other's plans. So you go about, and it can be comedic. It can also be serious. Yeah, I think that's what I would do. If we're highlighting lesser known characters, one, I can't think of too many lesser known characters than Fool Killer and Paladin, and two, I like the spy versus spy idea. Over at DC, it's kind of in the works already because we're getting Blue Beetle, but why do we not have a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie already? Yeah. It is beyond me. Seriously. That being said, get them off the freaking TV screen and into the big screen and do Teen Titans.
I know that Nathan Fillion wanted to do one back in the day. He was all set for that stuff. Even a Green Lantern movie they wanted to do, but they didn't want to do one, so they wasted time. If we can't get them live action, bring Nathan Fillion. Let him do Booster Gold and have someone else come in with just
Nathan Fillion is 50-something years old.
I didn't say live action. I said for animation.
Animated, yeah.
At least something. I mean, I'd rather watch animation than watch live action. Anything.
With Booster Gold though, you do time travel, and whoever's playing him in the beginning, you can actually time travel. All of a sudden, we get 50-year-old Booster Gold in the form of Nathan Fillion, and now Nathan Fillion has to save the younger guy, and so you can at least get a good half hour worth of Nathan Fillion Booster Gold, or even Green Lantern if you want.
Or you have the younger version of Booster Gold comes up, and he's like, and Blue Beetle's like, crap, I'm too old for this. Leave me alone. Mm-hmm. I'm retired.
If you show an older Blue Beetle, I want him to look like me. I want him to have the dad gut, and the whole 9 yards. Because that was a problem with him in the DCU. He was a stress eater.
Yeah.
And for a little bit, he was too fat to go on missions and everything.
I think it was Josh Williamson did that Rogue story where they're all old.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a great movie. It's like basically the copy of Red. But what you got the rogues, and they're trying to rob Gorilla City.
Yeah,
with gold. To me that's just kind of cool. You can bring in older actors too. You don't have to worry about that.
Ahsoka's bringing up the fact that it's been announced Ryan Reynolds might make a return to the DCU. Okay, let's see how it goes. They're not using Nathan Fillion, so I'm open. I'm fine.
Now, are you pulling her leg because, or is this? I'm just curious.
No, I heard this. I heard this as well.
Oh, I think from Ryan Reynolds?
No, from once again, it's just a rumor. At this point, as James Gunn said, at this point, if it ain't James Gunn saying it, it's a rumor. So
yeah. So Ryan Reynolds had said for Deadpool 3 though, he said it's gonna be R, it's gonna be violence, and I'm thinking like, okay, cool, but keep the comedy there. I want him like Wolverine like cutting off his arm. He's like, that was my best arm, you bastard. It's like,
yeah.
I want that because I like the whole thing with Colossus and Deadpool 2. That was fun.
Here's something. Wolverine cuts Deadpool up literally into pieces, and now Wolverine's facing an army of Deadpool.
We're not. Do you want to do Army of Darkness, the little guys?
Yeah. That would actually be funny if Deadpool went from being 6 foot Ryan Reynolds to now 5 foot, and the more he gets cut up, the tinier he gets, but the more he gets. Yeah, Miss So, I would love to see a Legion of Superheroes movie. I think that would be really
cool. Deadpool 3, Wolverine, and then forcing him up against an army of Jimmy Madroxes, multiple man.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
He's like, there's no end to this guy.
Since the only time we ever got multiple man was in X-Men 3, and the actor was like not Seth MacFarlane, but he looks so much like Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, because for those who are watching the My Hero Academia, they have a guy called Twice in there, and he basically has the same power. He just keeps duplicating. None of them knows which one's the original one. So, and it's like he is an ultimate threat because he can just build an army of himself.
Yep.
It's hard, so you gotta like try to stop him. And it's such a fantastic character. But imagine if they did Sword. If they have all this stuff, Marvel did Sword, that it's up the comic books.
That's funny. You're thinking Marvel. I'm thinking DC. I really would. I really would love a decent Legion of Superheroes movie. Set it in the 70s. And by that I mean set it in the 1970s. Legion of Superheroes. I want to see the freaking the fetish costumes that they were all wearing back then. For Lord's sake, I want to see Cosmic Boy in that corset.
This is what I want.
To see Phantom Girl in her. I need a hole in my outfit all the way up the sides. I want to see Shadow Lass in her little string bikini, the whole 9 yards. Let's bring 70s Legion to the freaking big
Legion
screen.
of Superheroes, and it would tie in with the current James Gunn younger Superman, and they goes off of that, and the Legion of Superheroes branches off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that working. I mean, I can even see them doing a TV series where like, we're trapped in the 70s. Crap. So they got to wear the costumes.
That would be very fun.
Dawnstar, as Miss So is saying.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Because the Legion of Superheroes. Oy vey. Okay, so what are we talking about?
Well, I was say, what other directors besides James Gunn would you want to see an actual attached to a property in Marvel DC?
I don't know.
Are any writers do you like?
Do you know who? What I would like? What's his name? The dude who directed Aquaman is the same guy who directed the Conjuring series. I'm a big fan of the Conjuring series, so I would like to see him for HBO Max do House of Mystery. And I mean, I want the animated opening as they're traveling around. It passes by the House of Secrets. And as it's going up, I want the opening to kind of be ground level. So it's going through the cemeteries. You're seeing all the weird stuff. And as it pulls up to the House of the Mystery, you have that iconic cover where the hand comes out and just does this bit. He's James Wan. Thank you, Baca. He's a good horror director. It could be kind of like the Guillermo Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. You make the House of Mystery and you let him do the house. You let him do all the stories. That being said, also you could get somebody to do the House of Secrets and just kind of have them. Yeah. Anyway,
DC does Challenge of the Unknown before we get Fantastic Four.
Ooh, or it's a House of Mysteries, House of Secrets kind of thing where at one point you get a secret, at one point you get a mystery, and every episode ends with Cain killing Abel. And every episode begins with Abel coming back to life from the previous episode's kill. I think that would be kind of cool.
So,
like I said, but
can you
it would
imagine-
have to be a TV series to me.
Can you imagine an actor like 30 years ago? So he's best known for being killed off after every episode.
Well, he was the first. He was
I
the
know.
first murder victim. Therefore, he is continuously.
I know. Can you imagine though the actor like 30 years from now? So this actor is known for playing an Abel who got murdered every single episode.
Yeah, it's the way. I like the guy who played him in Sandman.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool for that part.
We need a good Hulk movie again, says Baca.
Well, if
People
they don't want
didn't like the 2003 would, but I think it actually handled the character better than what we have now. 2003, at least they had a raging Hulk. That's what I want that again. They kind of had that in the Edward Norton, but he was focused. His rage was focused. I want to see the raged out Hulk. And for what you're saying as far as the Marvel Universe, at least Age of Ultron gave us a raged out Hulk that just was destroying everything he could. I want to see that I want to see that Hulk. Maybe that's a good Avengers movie. You don't need to bring in the next big bad. Have Hulk rage out and show everybody. And you could actually play it off the Professor Hulk, because that actually happened in the comics. Or just do this as a Hulk film where he's Professor Hulk, he's doing his thing, but we see that he's having problems controlling, because occasionally he's raging out to the point where he rages out and Professor Hulk is gone. We no longer have Bruce Banner on the planet, and then they have to get rid of him. And you send him to the crossroads. Since you're doing the multiverse, you send him to the crossroads, and he goes from universe to universe as he's trying to find somewhere that he can be who he is.
Right.
From there, you might actually get World War Hulk or something along those lines. They already kind of
Old man Hugh Jackman.
They kind of teased the other one, but and Baca, yeah, he's right. We could get Minestrone Hulk. Yes.
Oh, I'm trying to think of that one actor, the guy who was in the.
Is it sad that here we are on a freaking YouTube channel, couple of schlubs that just read comic books, coming up with better fucking comic book ideas than movie ideas than they've been?
The actor is in that movie where he basically kidnapped a girl, kept her hostage. He's an older actor, but he's deaf, and he killed all her friends. It's a sequel to that that came out this year. Older guy, white hair, shorter, and he's like, or he's not that.
The dude from Avatar,
yeah.
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang, Old Man Logan.
Yeah, I've been calling for that forever.
Yeah,
I thought Stephen Lang should have been Cable. I mean, great. Look, hey, Josh Brolin did a fine job. Not going to take that away. I thought Stephen Lang should have been Cable. Josh Brolin is freaking everybody now in anything. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that you could do is they could do Sergeant Rock, or they could do
Your Mouth to God's Ears. Yeah.
World War II movies. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's a question. Is because Henry Cavill too clean to play Sergeant Rock? Is he too freaking good looking to play Sergeant Rock?
Is he too British?
I'll tell you what, if he hadn't been in, or we could find out that Rick Flag is actually a descendant of Sergeant Rock, and we get the same actor to play Sergeant Rock.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. Or, oh wait, no, we messed him up because no, the universes are done. So
yeah,
Scott Eastwood as our Sergeant Rock. Why not?
All right. I mean, I don't hate Scott Eastwood. I just don't like the roles he's put in though. I think if he gets an actual role that's actually good, he can sell it. He's not a bad actor. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that so many people are, he's going to be just as great as Clint. No, Clint actually took the movies that he knew that he wanted to play, and he excelled at them. Well, and sometimes he made them himself. Yeah, Clint Eastwood is an incredible director, and he directed one of my favorite westerns in the 70s called The Outlaw Josie Wales, which those change my mind things. Outlaw Josie Wales, one of the best western movies ever of all time. You can't change my mind. It's incredible. Scott Eastwood is a poor man's Chris Evans. I can't argue that.
Let's see. Remember Cavill playing that rough mustache guy in Mission Impossible Fallout? Yeah, that's true.
You know,
but he still looked too damn. He's just too damn good looking. You know,
he's a pretty boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? If they reboot the Sting. He could
reboot the Sting.
Yeah.
With Henry Cavill and
Cavill.
I know. Oh, if you want the Redford and Newman combination, what's his name? Magic Mike.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum and Henry Cavill.
Yep.
You do the Sting. Might as well throw in some Western. Let's see that Butch Cassidy and Sundance again. Yeah.
All on Josie Wales. I mean, who would you put that? Would you put that? I just forget his name. He does Stephen Lance or whatever is there? Stephen Lang as Jonah Hex.
Stephen Lang is Jonah Hex. Look, I think Josh Brolin was a great choice for Jonah Hex. A lot of people hated the script. I find it to be a bit of a guilty pleasure. You know, like if you watch Howard the Duck, it really is stupid. It's really bad, but it's kind of fun. I get that same kind of feeling from Jonah Hex. It's like, wow, you guys, this is amazing. You didn't even make one good decision on this movie. Except for the casting, you failed at every freaking level. How can you not watch a movie like that? It's like Catwoman. In some ways, it's just so freaking watchable. Just to see that in every way, shape, or form you messed up. There is nothing redeemable about Catwoman.
I have a guilty pleasure for Priest. Remember that one, the vampire movie? Mm-hmm. Where they had, and it was almost like a Western / vampires.
Paul Bettany, I believe it was, right?
I can't remember what the guys, but I know that Carl Urban was the bad guy in it.
Yeah.
They just recently released a game called Evil West, which basically takes place during the 1800s, where vampires are trying to basically take over the White House and everything, and they're waging a war. And you basically are armed with like steampunk, like electric gauntlet and stuff. You have the Gatling gun. Like, give me Cowboys versus Vampires. I want that movie. I'm just sorry. I just want the crazy, just turn your brain off. Just enjoy people getting blown away.
Let's face it, with the people who are in charge right now, you're not going to get a proper Punisher. No. You're just not. So how about we time travel him into the era that people would be okay with him carrying guns and using guns, and put him in the Old West. He's got to fight his way back to getting into the modern era. But what we can get is we could get a Punisher who is the Punisher, but it's in the Old West. I don't know. That's a thought, but it's sad. I think we're going to lose the Punisher just because of modern day audiences when we have John Bernthal kicking all sorts of ass as the Punisher.
I was say the second season was too much of that bad, the villain, and less of a Punisher, which kind of annoyed me. Because the first scene was great, even the crossover with their Daredevil in that Daredevil season 3 it was, or 2. Mm-hmm. John Bernthal as Punisher going around was great. He's a little guy. He's not the biggest dude, but he had the attitude. He had the look.
That's because he's an official badass. Yeah. In real life, he
goes out, shoots. Yeah.
Yeah. He's an official badass. He is of the league of not to be fucked with. Go figure.
I watched the if you guys are on Instagram, it's called Tactical or something. That's where they basically train all the actors for gunfighting using the stuff. John Wick they had Haley, whatever. What's the one that was on there? The girl, the one you like, the Catwoman girl. I forgot her name is.
Joe's bringing up Leah Thompson. Austin P said, "I know people who love everything about Howard the Duck, especially the actor Leah Thompson." Okay, kids, all the right moves. About 35 minutes in, make it about 45 minutes in. Full frontal El Buffo. All righty, have fun, and you are welcome.
Right. I like Cavill was he in that movie with Haywire? Was he in that?
Who? Haywire? I don't know. Was he?
With Gina Carano, or they're supposed to the dinner date, and then he puts him in the armbar lock. Was it him or was it someone else? But I want him. I would just want him as more just being like, you know, a Bond type. You know, it doesn't have to be James Bond, but I'm just saying I liked Man from U.N.C.L.E. I love that him fighting stuff, and you know, it's just I want that where he's the it doesn't have to be Bond, but you can still make. Oh, you know what? The Saint. Let's do the Saint movies.
Just do the Saint. That would be good. This says like LOLE. Sorry, I've got skills. I was Mr. Skin before the internet.
Yeah. Halle Berry was I was trying to think of, you know, they've all Keanu Reeves, Halle Berry, John Berthel. They've all taken going this course. It's on
oh no, he before even that he studied I know he was a boxer, but I think he studied other martial arts and such like that.
Yeah, but I mean he's
officially a badass.
But I'm just saying that's why I love watching these movies with these guys, because they actually know how to work the gun.
Do you know who kind of surprised me? They're a badass.
Who's that?
Al Bundy.
Oh, and
Al Bundy is a trained MMA fighter. He is like what? When I heard that, it was like
I know
Ed O'Neill, seriously? Yeah. I saw that on the Joe Rogan thing. He's like, no, that man's trained. That man can fuck you up. It's like, really, Al Bundy? I mean, of course. Look, he was 6 foot tall, and he had weight to him. So if Ed O'Neill wanted to mess you up in his prime, he would have messed you up. That's just it. But when I heard that he was like he's trained in MMA, I was like, really? I did not. There's, by the way, one of my favorite scenes of all time in all of the 100 episodes of Married with Children. Kelly decides instead of going out on a date, she's going to go with the family to the movies. And while they're there, it's all before the movie starts. While they're there, Kelly looks over and sees the boyfriend that she was going to go out on the date making out with another girl. And she goes up and she talks to him. She says, you know, I'm going to be the bigger person here. I understand. I went out. You had nothing to do. You found someone. It's fine. I can take it. And I'm not going to stoop to your level. And then she walks down, gets with the family, and goes, Daddy, beat him up. And he's like, okay, pumpkin. He just stands up, goes over to the kid, and he's just beating the shit out of him. That's one of the funniest freaking scenes. Really.
Just look at
I love that show.
All the women that came on, and it's like, you know, there's this one episode, I don't know what season it is, but he's like, hi, we're with Victoria's Secret. Do you want to carpool with us? And like, who, and like, oh, just fine. This is the maid. Like, oh, like I'm his wife. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, you know. Like, going to the green card, she has to. We're here at work. She has to live here too. And he's like, don't worry, I'll go with you. It's like, they got away with so much on that show.
Well, the last I heard, they were going to do another Constantine film with Keanu, but who knows now, right?
Well, yeah. The other show that was kind of like a marriage show was called Unhappily Ever After, where a guy.
Oh my god. That redhead was hot.
Nikki Cox with a daughter. No, but yeah, the guy who basically talked to Mr. Floppy was voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait, I think it was.
Yeah, Mr. Floppy, and the other guy, he was absolutely an Al Bundy ripoff.
I know, but I was like, those shows, that show won for 5 seasons too. It was on WB.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Hey, Wep, what's up? How you doing?
Well, if you want to jump on, let us know. We'll let you on, man.
Yeah. Or do you want to jump on, or you just come in to say, yeah, James Gunn? I understand that attitude. I really do. I understand why James Gunn wants to start over from scratch, but I understand the attitude, because we were told not but a month ago that Henry Cavill is going to be making Superman movies. We're all excited for it. He leaves a decent series for it that I hear of. I actually have never seen it, so I can't speak myself.
No, The Witcher, but there was already bad blood with that. But them saying, hey, you want to come back Superman? Well, sure, and this is going downhill anyway. I'm going to be leaving soon eventually. So
there you go, Wep. Jump on in, say hello.
But they did Cavill dirty. Sorry. I would have been fine without Cavill, but the fact they announced it's coming back and this is to do him dirty like that pisses me off. And they're saying, whoa, James Gunn is like, don't worry, we had a good talk, about the future and him coming back and working with us in the future. Yeah, bullshit. If you really cared about Cavill, you would have Cavill do a Superman movie. If you want to do your Superman with younger cast, called the first half of the movie is without Cavill. Have the little boy or whatever younger Superman, then grow up into Cavill.
How's it going?
Fair warning, sound like Alex Jones. You're gonna have to deal with this from now on. I'm sorry. This is your curse.
I knew the smoking would catch up with you.
No, I got a bit of bronchitis.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I've had that, and it is not a fun thing.
Oh, it's done and over. I got to get my voice back. I'm totally good. I'm totally fine.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, when I had upper respiratory, and anytime I would try to swallow food, it was like nails. Oh.
As long as you're cleaning your gun, right? And you have your lighter out, then we know it's you.
All righty, so the attitude today is fuck James Gunn, huh? Or is it? Did we lose you there, Web?
I think you did just for a second there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, fuck James Gunn, dude. Did you hear why they dropped him though?
I read on Twitter though. I mean, now we're gonna talk about that.
What I heard was that they wanted somebody younger, but what did you hear?
No, that's what I heard. They apparently want to reboot everything, start over fresh. Yeah. But here's what's really fucking weird about that, right? So they got rid of Cavill. They want somebody younger. But why is the Hawkman movie still going?
Yep.
Why is Shazam still going? Why is Black Adam potentially still going? Like, are you starting over or fucking not? You still have the Flash coming out. You still have this Constantine movie that's maybe coming out. Like, are you starting over or are you just bullshitting us and you don't want to deal with Cavill for reasons? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then what the fuck did I do? Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
and then it's like, what problem do you have with Cavill? Because at every report, Cavill's a good guy and he's easy to work with. So, what is Cavill doing to Warner Brothers and DC that pisses everybody off so much?
It is honestly, this is my honest opinion. Okay. This is what I think happened. And Black Adam is to blame. The Rock overpromised with Black Adam. And the budget on that film was nowhere near as big as it should have been. Okay. Black Adam is too obscure of a character to be leading a relaunch. Normies have no fucking clue who Black Adam is.
Yeah.
Us comic people, we know. We get it. All everybody else knows, your average theater audience, is, oh, it's The Rock, which usually is enough to carry a film, right? But not this case. Not in this case.
Yeah,
Pierce Brosnan couldn't help.
If you look back, The Rock's really about 50-50. He'll have a San Andreas, and then he'll have that movie with the tower fire. He is kind of 50-50. What was it called? Skyscraper. There, yeah.
The one that everybody bitched about because his character is missing a leg, and The Rock isn't an amputee in real life.
Yeah, let's get real amputees.
I was more like, is this Die Hard reboot? That's all pretty much me was.
Well, it was a generic ass fucking movie that nobody gave a shit about. But like, again, for every San Andreas, there is another flop. And it's not even his fault. It's like, they're fucking nothing movies that nobody's going to give a shit about because we're in an age of franchises, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
And
unfortunately, as far as superhero movies are concerned, we're in the age of the universe. You just can't put out a Shazam movie anymore. You just can't put out a Batman movie anymore. Although,
which is what I would have loved if the Batman was just a one-off and not the start of a whole trilogy.
Yeah, maybe I'm just too old school, but the way it used to be was you didn't know it was a trilogy until the third movie came out. You know, you would have that first movie and it was awesome, and then the next two came out, and okay, you've got a trilogy, and maybe there was a thread. Watch Indiana Jones, freaking great trilogy.
Also, wasn't intended to be
trilogy. Yeah, but they you know the character. There might be a thread through them, but each movie is an individual. You don't need to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom to enjoy Last Crusade. It just it's not necessary. And it used to be the way. And as I was saying earlier, if they did that with the superhero films, let Batman be Batman until it's time to team up with the Justice League. Let Superman be Superman until it's time to team up with the Justice League. Same with Marvel. Let them have their own
Marvel
films.
used to do back in the day when the MCU was first starting.
Right. Exactly. You don't every movie doesn't have to be Civil War. Civil War was good for what it was, but every movie doesn't have to be. And I think much like the humor in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Marvel Universe learned the wrong lesson from Civil War.
Yeah. I think it goes even sooner than that, though. I think the death of the MCU was well before Civil War. And I think it started with the Avengers.
The first Avengers movie.
Yeah. I've said it time and time again. That was not an Avengers movie. That was Iron Man and everybody else.
Okay.
It was that was when the Whedon formula really sank into these films. Because before that, it made sense for Stark to be a snarky asshole. The Incredible Hulk movie was not that funny of a movie. Okay, there weren't a lot of jokes.
Right.
Captain America had a few. Thor had a few, but they were nowhere near what they are now, right? But then you get into the Avengers, and it's a fucking joke a minute.
Man.
Hello, Baka. How you doing?
Good?
It's been a while.
I'm tired of these jokes, man.
It's been a while, Baka. What's up?
Yeah, not much. Man, it's like, oh, we got to crack a joke every 5 fucking minutes.
It's not it, but the worst part though is they're not even just cracking jokes. They're like the jokes evolved into making fun of themselves. Like they're ashamed of being a superhero movie.
Who are you again? Always that one,
right? Yeah.
The worst in my opinion. Well, okay, before Love and Thunder, the worst was Thor Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. There are parts about Thor Ragnarok I love. I think but
the fucking Three Stooges movie, that was
but
I didn't like the Three Stooges reboot.
At the end, they destroyed freaking Asgard. That's a heavy situation, and it's like, oh my gosh, Asgard's. Oh look, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. Look, I'm telling a joke over here. Oh yeah, fuck everybody from Asgard that died in the freaking.
And then you turn Thor into basically a fat, unworthy Thor.
I wasn't actually. I got to say, I wasn't hating on that because this.
No, I agree with Englentine on that one. That was fine.
This guy lost everything, and then he lost half of everything again.
He didn't need the gut though.
Well, one of the things I do not like about comic books is you never see the follow-up. You should have seen Superman beat the ever-loving piss out of the next strong guy he fought because he was afraid to get killed. But they don't show that. They never show the mental damage, the kind of violence they get themselves involved in. And with Thor, they did, and I kind of enjoyed that. I at least I liked the fact that they were willing to do that. They were willing to show us that. I love comics. You guys know that. It's the name of the channel. Yeah. But one of the things they miss out on is really delving into what all of it means. And I don't want to freaking what Tess Howard or whatever her freaking name is writing 12 issues of a morose Captain America because he has afterthoughts of having a bullet in his brain. But at the very least, it should give him nightmares, and it should affect the way he goes after other people. And I'm sorry, I'm on a rant. A long time ago, something happened, and it was new in comic books. There was a gay character announced in North Star. Mm. Okay, well, why don't you get villains who don't want to fight him because he's gay and they don't want to get AIDS if there's any blood? They never actually really delve into what goes on and what happens and how it would actually affect people in real life. Yeah. But there you go. That's my 3 cents. Baki, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm honestly like, just generally, I heard this news about James Gunn thing. I was like, again, are we really? I'm sitting here like, you know, I saw Black Adam in theater. I was like, this movie's really good, honestly. It's like genuinely, it gives off the vibes that how I felt when I first saw Iron Man in 2008. It was a good film. They knew what they wanted to do, and they did it.
Exactly.
Right? So here's my thing. Now, we're in the day and age, oh yeah. It's like literally, you're watching She-Hulk, right? It's like, you know, it's passable, right? You could just skip it and just watch the last episode, right? But now it's like, oh yeah. She-Hulk literally goes to Kevin Feige. She's like, you know what? Forget all this. We're going to rewrite the script. And out of nowhere, Hulk pulls up with his kid. It's like, this could have been a whole separate storyline or movie. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, that's the rumor, is that's the next movie is Hulk, She-Hulk, and Scar.
Well, guess what? To me, as a Hulk fan, it wasn't. It's just something they threw in. Completely, it was not worth it.
No, it wasn't. It should have been there should have been a build. It should have been a whole movie. Going back to the planet, finding him, all that shit. They hand waved that shit the fuck away real quick.
Well, that was She-Hulk in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I remember my review. I watched the first episode. I thought, okay, it's not as bad as everybody's saying it is, but it ain't great. Then the second episode comes out and like, that was good. That's the pilot because they needed to set up the fact that it's going to be a law comedy. And then after that, I was like, they've just kept dropping the ball. It never really went back into the offices. And this should have been a superhero office comedy, the way it was in the books. And there, by the way, and this bothers the out of me because they kept saying it for eight episodes. It wasn't Sensational She-Hulk. It was Peter David's run. It was Dan Slott's run. Had very little to do with John Byrne's run.
Yep.
But
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Dan Slott would have written a better show. And
would have.
That's coming from a Spider-Man fan. I want you to let that sink in. That's coming from a Spider-Man fan.
What a minute. You telling me?
No, hey, look, I'm not a fan of Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man, but I will back up and defend Dan Slott's run on She-Hulk.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
The art was kind of bad though, and on that first issue though.
Dude, don't look quietly, man. I know he takes a little bit to get used to, but I like his art. So.
But yeah, Pixel and I on the Geeky Publisher reviewed that we just drank heavily and got through all.
Are we throwing the bird at each other?
And the first one was okay. The first episode, and then if you just skipped basically 7 and 8, those last 2 episodes, you're fine. You don't need anything else. But yeah, that season finale had horrible writing. With the whole script flipping going. Seeing that Kevin Feige is actually a robot. I'm like, okay, well that's kind of cute. Whatever. The funny part is though, I was watching. We also reviewed Kung Fu, which is on the CW. And they totally took the idea from having like what originally we're going to do for She-Hulk before she decided to reality shift because she didn't want to do the ending with Abomination. They actually had Nikki fight against her older foes from the previous seasons. They were all a support group, and she fought against them. Like they did it better. Like it's still kind of a crappy idea, but they took the idea and they stuck with it. They didn't just say at the last minute cop out and say, you know what? Let's quickly change it.
She fought a support group. Hey, doesn't that seem kind of villainous? I'm just saying.
And I know, but
she's sitting there beating up on addicts and fucking dudes with PTSD and shit.
These were the
like I know it caused you all trauma, but hey, let me go ahead and beat you all to basically death.
But but
I'm the hero. But I'm the hero, right?
What it was is that these are actually all her villains from that show. Like they basically were just trying to get by. One of the guys, a former dojo master, and then as soon as they saw her, because she accidentally stumbled upon them. They attacked her, so she had to defend herself, and she still kicked their asses and then left. Well,
that's just a skill issue. That's what I would call that.
Let's just be happy the CW is fucking dead, though. Like, real
man.
Stargirl, though. Did you watch Stargirl?
I haven't watched the CW, and not out of hatred.
No.
I just fell off. I watch it on Netflix when it's all together, so I don't have to wait a week. But
Yeah.
I'll be with you on the Flash, Green Arrow, on Supergirl, fine, but Stargirl and Superman kicked ass.
Yeah.
And I
Superman
wish
and Lois was good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only show left actually on that. I think.
Fingers crossed. The only reason why it hasn't been canceled is because maybe they haven't gotten around to it yet. I have no hope that Superman Lois is returning.
Well, the next season starts back up in January.
Yeah, but that was before.
Yeah,
that was before all of this.
And they still did not announce that they're going to cancel the Gotham Knights show on there. So figure that out,
right? Yeah.
Wait, they canceled that, but let the game exist? Yeah, okay. I don't get it, bro.
No,
I don't get it.
Well, the Gotham Knights TV show still hasn't been canceled, as far as I know.
Oh wow.
I like Stargirl.
So cancel. Don't cancel that, but go ahead and cancel Henry Cavill from having a good career at Superman. Yeah, sure. I'll let it slide, I guess.
It's so stupid though, and I just do what DC does with the comic books. No, there's no continuity. Just turn doing his Elseworld stories if you want to. Have an Elseworlds with Cavill.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Really could. You know what's funny though? Here's my biggest thing, right? The Marvel and DC thing, right? Like, you gotta consider what they're doing with Spider-Man, right? Look, it was good because No Way Home was a good movie, right? The whole trilogy makes sense. Like when you think about it bigger picture, right? Here's my problem though. How are they going to do Miles Morales? Because they basically just gave Peter Miles traits and just basically made him the original Spider-Man, pretty much. It's like, what are you going to do with Miles?
Oh, Into the Spider-Verse movie has actually been done. They did what they originally did in the Ultimate Spider-Verse. They killed off Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense to do is have him be that and there. But we were talking about the other night. There's no reason for Miles to be Spider-Man in the main universe with a Peter Parker that's still Spider-Man. Call him something else, or make his Miles Morales book in a different separate universe.
Yeah.
Nah, I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna wait until Holland is maybe too old. Then just get him out, bring in Miles. They're planning for the future because remember, continuity-wise, right now, Miles is a fucking baby.
Yeah.
We saw Prowler in the show. We have a relative age here.
Yeah, he's probably like 8 at least.
Wait, where did we see Prowler?
He was in
Spider-Verse.
Far From Home. Yeah.
Was he really? Oh.
Yeah, he was.
Did not know that.
Oh no, Homecoming. My bad, Homecoming.
Oh, that's right. He was
Yep.
Freaking Community guy.
Yep, Don Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
go. Here's my other thing, man. I'm so mad FX canceled the show he was going to do for Deadpool. I'm like, that actually would have been interesting.
Yeah, I saw the first season of Atlanta. That was pretty good.
Yeah, like generally,
he could put together
it's
a good
pretty
show.
funny show.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man.
Man,
where do you think Cavill goes from here, though?
Me personally, I mean,
whatever he wants. Apparently, I mean,
pretty much.
He's not tied to The Witcher anymore. He's not tied to DC.
The weird thing is, and this is something that I've seen, and we get it with the comics, and we're tired of it, and we're getting it with the movies now, is that we are telling them what we want to see. We're the people they should be catering, and I'm not saying catering to like Val Neil. I want them to surprise the fuck out of me. I don't want them to give me everything. But the thing is we're saying we will pay money to see Cavill as Superman. And they're saying, no, we know better. And we get that in the comics, and now we're getting it in the movies. It's like it seems, especially with Warner Brothers, that they have something against the audience in a way, because we've been Fillion, put him in the Green Lantern outfit. This is in the 2000s. People were saying that. Or since we don't really know Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern, don't make Hal Jordan the first Green Lantern. Make John Stewart, because if you guys remember,
he's the fan favorite.
Yeah, at that point in time, John Stewart had been Kid's Green Lantern for damn near 200 episodes of Justice League season 2, and then the Justice League Unlimited. So Warner Brothers has done its best to shoot themselves in the foot.
And you know what's the funniest part of this angle team though? If they wanna go with the woke route, but not be too woke now, they could be like, hey, yo, you finally got a black superhero. But I'm just saying, if they want to go the woke route, because I know companies love doing that for some reason.
Oh,
So,
I know Michael B. Jordan flat out said he's not playing Clark Kent. I love that. He goes, I'll play Calvin Ellis.
Yeah.
Good job, sir.
Nobody's
Yes.
Man knows his shit.
Yeah.
And all of us racist comic book lovers went, yes, Michael B. is Calvin Ellis. Bring that shit in.
Here's my thing.
Val Zod, let's bring it in. Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. I cannot wait for Creed 3. Like, me personally, since
Creed what? Creed 3. Okay.
That movie's going to be good, in my opinion. Now, here's my thing. Because, first of all, this is his first directorial debut for a movie.
He's also been working with a lot of very accomplished talent, and when you're around those people, you just soak that knowledge up like crazy. So I actually think his directorial debut is going to be very good. The man knows his shit.
Yeah, like but that's besides the point. Like, here's my thing, right? I think it's funny that back in the day, it's like, oh, if you were in the comics, it's like, comics or anime, that sort of thing, right? You got to think about it. 80% of media that is popular was made by people who are into stuff like that. So it's funny that it's now popular, and if you're not into it, it's like, oh, you're a little weird. It's like, wait a minute now, you was bullying people for not, for enjoying the stuff. Yet the stuff you were watching was also made by those people. Why do you think we have cool stuff like Justice League Unlimited, like Batman Beyond, like literally? Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, you're gonna base somebody's whole character off of what they watch? Like, look, bro.
I mean,
and here's the worst part. I'm so mad they canceled Batman Beyond. I'm like, bro, we've been waiting for this for like 30 years.
If they did a Batman Beyond, and you brought in Cavill as a guest appearance as an older Superman, that would work too. I mean, it doesn't have to be a permanent Superman. I mean,
That's what I was thinking. Like, why don't we just get the younger actor, have them do the origin story, then just bring Cavill back?
Or do it Justice League Beyond. Who gives a shit?
I'm about to say something a little controversial. I know England team literally went on the Reddit about it for like 20 minutes, but I do want to say it though. We need Injustice. Fuck it, because literally we have a blueprint now. Injustice about Zack Snyder. You could even have Christopher Nolan direct. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. Look, I want an Injustice movie now. Y'all taking too long.
So James Gunn decided someone asked about Ben Affleck, basically they're directing, like, oh, he's like, yeah, we don't direct, we don't know what project we want to direct. So basically they're gonna keep Ben Affleck on as a director, I guess.
Yes, please. If
the man is a director,
I'm one of those. I did not think he was a bad casting choice for Batman. Saw him in Hollywoodland when I heard that he was cast for Batman. I was like, okay, let's bring that. But we know for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
We know for a fact that that man could direct a movie. He got his ass snubbed for Argo.
Mm.
On that note, guys, I got to dip out. That's about as much talking as I'm capable of right now. So you guys,
we get it. You take care of yourself. Be safe and take care, man.
Have a good night, Alex.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
No, but for real.
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all seen The Accountant though? That man was going crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was pretty fun film there. That was a good movie. Yeah, and John Barenthal. So you had Batman and the Punisher.
Man, I kind of like Paycheck.
Was going at it.
You like Paycheck? Well, you're the only one that likes Paycheck.
I've never seen Paycheck, so I couldn't tell you if I liked it or not.
Yeah. Hold on. Ethereal saying, what black stereotype will they give the next black superhero while they're... Look, yes, we understand that the people who are claiming everybody else in the world is racist tends to write the worst racial stereotypes, the worst racist characters. I mean, the entire thing about wokeism is it is damn near 100% racism.
Yep.
And the only reason why I say damn near is I don't like to talk in absolutes. I just don't. Not because the evil side, but just because...
I see if there's an absolute. I see. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only reason why. Because I have not seen anything in wokeism or social justice or anything like that that hasn't been straight up racist. They come at everything as if anyone who is not a straight white male is weak as fuck. And it is just, it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. As far as Injustice, though, didn't they do one of the worst animated features?
Yeah, the Injustice.
They did. Now, let's say though, right? Christopher Nolan, that man literally created a new con site like this.
Yeah, okay, I can buy into that.
You know what? I could see him doing it. Like, that's my thing.
But in all honesty, I think it would. I would want it as if I were creating Injustice.
Mm-hmm.
I would try to get a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
At HBO Max.
For sure.
That way it could be, and it would be a 10 episode, and we would do each year as a season. Because wasn't it 5 years?
Yeah, I think it was 5
so
years.
every season can focus on that story, and then we go, and if it's successful, you do the second one. I think I could see that happening.
Yeah, like that's my thing, right? Like,
you would need 7. You would need 7 years, because you get the 5 years of the build up, then you get Injustice, and then Injustice 2.
Yeah, depending on how they want to go about it. But yeah, like, this is my thing, right? Injustice has a plan. Like, this is my thing as a creator. When you create something, right? You typically want to have a plan. If you are getting backed by a company that is, has enough money to literally throw money at you at that point, why are they squandering their money? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because they want to get the finances back. You have people that are investing in what you're doing. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, everything that you're gonna make as a creator is gonna be 100% gold, like print money. But here's my thing: there's people like me who enjoy 2003 Hulk, and then there's people who enjoy, the newer Marvel movies. And I'm like, that's cool for the audience that it is. But you gotta consider the main audience you're trying to sell this to. How much money are they willing to spend on it? Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's really why, right? A lot of movies now with more mature characters are PG. They want to make money. So I get that. I kind of respect it. Because look, you got to get your bag back. I'm just saying. Because you don't want to lose all your money and be like, hey, yo, I ain't got no money to give out for more projects. So it's like, either you get more projects or you don't have any money to give to set up more projects.
If I were to do a Superman movie, I would want to base it on the John Byrne Man of Steel series, because I kind of agree. Look, I liked Injustice. I did. I like the games. I like the series, but I agree with Dalton to an extent that I'm kind of, we have a lot of evil Superman. Let's see an inspirational Superman. Let's do the John Byrne Superman, where it's actually a build up. You build the world up, and you see Superman as an inspirational figure again. I think a lot of people, especially modern, you hear it all the time. Superman's too powerful. We can't write him. Well, you're a bad writer. The biggest idea they had for Superman in a long time is, let's send him out to space, and then we're going to make his kid gay. That being said, the stuff that happened in space was good, and it was inspirational.
I was so confused because they had Superman and Authority, and the next time I see him, like, the Authorities also on that. Was it connected to the Action Comics with War World? Was the Authority on there too as well, or is that separately? Because
don't remember.
I don't know, because they had two.
I know they were in. I know they were in
the future state, Superman and Authority.
I know they were in the comic, but I don't know anything about a movie.
So I understand that. Injustice, cool. We've done that. But if I get Matt Ryan as Constantine in a Justice League Dark movie, I'm hell going to see that movie. I know Dalton would too.
That would be good.
You sit here like, I'm kind of tired of you, Superman. It's like, wait a minute. But Henry Cavill, though, here goes me. Hey, but I have a proposition for you. Henry Cavill comes back, but evil Superman.
They have,
and if they really wanted to do it, they could have that version meet up with the main Henry Cavill Superman.
They could bring Henry Cavill back as Ultraman, and they could do the Crime Syndicate.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that would be.
And that's not to be like, oh yeah, we only want evil Superman played by Henry Cavill. Like, they could do whatever they want. They could really, if they wanted to, right? Wait. I'm not sure if it was Crisis on Infinite Earths, but it was basically where the DC Pantheon goes to war. Superheroes are basically non-existent at that point. They're real, but it's like Batman's in a suit. He's basically like super old. I forgot what it's called. But it's like where Superman has the red logo, and he has like the silver stripes on his hair. If that makes sense.
You talking about Kingdom Come, or are you talking about
Kingdom Come?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that was brought up a little earlier. That would be a decent way to go.
I genuinely think it would be a good movie.
Miss So saying,
since they want to reboot, just bring everybody who's already in the cast as well. Just make them older.
So Miss So saying, talking about Lex Luthor and stuff. sadly enough, Titus Welliver played a really decent Lex Luthor, and then they killed him off in the very first episode of Titans. Screw you,
Dang,
Titans.
they really killed him. They really killed that boy.
That's a show.
Crazy.
I used to watch everything. There's just too much out there. I haven't seen, like, I think I saw season 2. Season 2 had Connor Kent, right? In Wonder Girl.
He's Wonder Girl's not.
I haven't watched season 3 of that. I only watched season 1 of Young Justice. I only watched 1 episode of Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Only 1 season of Legion, which I loved. Only 1 season of Runaways. There's so much stuff out there. They're just putting way too much. I can't catch up.
This past season, they brought in Jinx, and Jinx was actually really good. The character, I believe she was also a Bendis character, wasn't she? Or was that a different thing? Jinx, who created?
No, Jinx is from way before Bendis.
Oh, okay. What I'm thinking is, I think he had his own comic book called Jinx. That's what it was.
No,
yes, he did.
He has an imprint
Bendis
called
did.
Jinx World.
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
overall, as I said, Superboy's fantastic in the show. Nightwing's great in the show, and even the funny thing is that speaking of James Gunn again is that Brendan Waith was kind of kissing ass because he's like they're getting rid of all these shows. He's trying to save his own ass, have him be like,
you know what?
Nightwing.
I watched the first 2 episodes of season 4. Doom Patrol is just so much fun. Please don't cancel Doom Patrol. Not Doom Patrol. You fucked up by canceling Swamp Thing. Don't fuck up again by canceling Doom Patrol.
Why did you remind me of Swamp Thing? I don't have to suffer through this again, bruh. Come on.
Did you like it, or are you?
Look, I loved it, and I'm like, why? Why?
It's a
Why
great
do we have to
freaking show.
suffer? I'm tired of suffering, bruh.
Yeah,
you know something good. It's like, nope, cut it. I'm like, please.
No, we're gonna cancel Swamp Thing because we can't pay for Supergirl season 7.
It's like Supergirl needs to end, bro. I'm tired of it, man.
Supergirl did end, and
It did end, yeah.
Look, I watched Supergirl. I really kind of fell off when the average American was turned into the villain. There was a season. It was literally about illegal aliens crossing the border.
Oh yes.
Literally, it was illegal. I was like, wait a second. You mean in Supergirl's eyes here, the big villains are Americans,
and the president too. And turns out Lex Luthor had a say in it as well too.
If you're not okay with an alien invasion, you're the villain. I'm sorry. I would not be okay with an alien invasion.
Yeah.
Now, wait a minute now. I kind of got a quote. Because my boy from Smallville, that man Clark said, wait a minute, I know you was against people trying to travel over the border. He's like, ain't that how you found me? Martha Kent had no words. She's like, you know what? You got a point. But the law is the law.
Yeah. Like I said, Supergirl it started out the first season was fine, fantastic, and then when they went with the CW, they decided to just, hey, you're all fired. We're getting new writers, and we're just gonna just trash it.
That's usually how things go, sadly.
Yeah,
Doom Patrol has been pretty solid, says Miss So. Ahsoka's saying Doom Patrol is probably going to stay. Fingers crossed. Supergirl kind of needed to end. Yeah. More or less, it probably will be in its own separate universe from James Gunn stuff. It's separate. I know it's technically connected to the Teen Titans, but I think Doom Patrol has kind of just said, yeah, we're doing our own thing. By the way, do you know who they're bringing in? Did you see the show?
No, I didn't see the first episodes.
General Immortus is going to be in Doom Patrol now. So I'm in. I'm for this.
Dude, I reviewed the last season on our channel of Supergirl because it was topic. It was trending, wherever we were just chasing everything. So we watched that. It was beyond horrible. But seeing Tyler Hoechlin, whatever his name is, the guy who's currently basically the Superman in the Superman and Lois. When I saw him, I was like, he's saying like, Supergirl, you're better than me. You're the better of us. It's like he's building up, which is, you think about it, it's her show. Of course he's going to say that, but comic books, he wouldn't say that.
Bro, don't gaslight, bro.
So because of this, he was such a wimp on that show, such a beta male. And then you turn against his own show, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually a decent Superman.
He's a very good Superman. Now there is a scene in the comics where Supergirl is playing up this whole I am powerful, more powerful than you, yada yada, and Superman goes, I've lived my life treating this place like it was soft. Nobody has any idea how powerful I am. And it just kind of shut that Supergirl's more powerful than Superman down. That's it. And it's true. Supergirl came later, and she didn't grow up having to control herself. Nobody knows how powerful Superman is.
Man, that's the one thing I love about the Justice League animated series. He's like, bro, this world to me is like a piece of paper. And
Yeah,
I'm
the
like,
dark
yo,
side.
Yeah,
fight.
the dark
Man.
side scene. I'm living in a world made of cardboard.
Exactly. And Supergirl's like, but wait, my feminine prowess is like, he's like, nah, I don't care about that, bro.
Well, okay, and it doesn't even make sense from a just sheer logical standpoint
Yeah.
because guys, they're both pure-blooded Kryptonians. Ergo, whatever thing that happens in their physiology that lets them metabolize the yellow sun of the earth, they both have it,
Except
and
Superman-
therefore,
except Superman has more muscle mass.
if we are to assume that the Kryptonians are sexually dimorphic in the same way humans are, and there's literally no reason to assume otherwise, then a male Kryptonian is by default stronger than a female Kryptonian.
Now, here's something.
true.
I wouldn't mind if they said that whatever passes for the X chromosome in a Kryptonian gave her some sort of extra or some sort of different superpower. I would be okay with that, but I would be okay with it if they also removed one of Superman's superpowers from Supergirl. Go on ahead.
No, I think it's because they established for a time that Kryptonians were genetically altered, like the birthing matrix and blah blah blah. So they actually chose genetics, got rid of the weaker stuff.
How
How
recent is that retcon though? Because that wasn't always the case.
Wasn't that post-crisis though? Who did that? With the
They
Renacre
kept
story?
taking that away, bringing that back up. But what he is talking about is when Supergirl was basically orbiting the sun, so she had more bursts of powers than Superman initially had. And that was when Bruce and Clark were talking about that, she got overconfident. And then when Darkseid was controlling her, I know this because this was the first story I ever read DC, and this is what got me into the thing. If you're talking about Superman, Batman, when she's on Apocalypse and is brainwashed and beating Superman up, and the Superman.
Yeah, it was in the Superman Batman story, wasn't it?
That was the first book. That was the first story I ever read.
Okay.
So what happened is that Superman just beats her and is like, "You've been going at 100% all this time. I was going at around 70. You have not compared your 100% to me. I've trained my entire life with these powers. You've had them for a week."
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Is like he's been exposed more to the yellow sun than she has. You know, even though she's been out there.
She's had more direct yellow sun because her pod was orbiting. Like in the show, she was in the Phantom Zone. In the comics, she was stuck around the Earth, looping around the Earth.
I mean, I can see her still being a little faster because she doesn't have the big muscle mass to slow her down, wind resistance. So I mean, I can see her being a little faster, but not as strong as him though.
Well, first of all, you gotta
she's
consider
like.
this.
Okay, Bob,
Superman.
go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Superman has more battle experience. Let's just consider that this man literally has way more battle experience than Supergirl. Yeah. If it was like, you know, she's literally been on war since she was at Krypton as a baby. Yeah, I get that. Nah, not happening. I'm sorry. Regardless.
Basically, Supergirl uses her power like a kid on a sugar high.
Yep.
Superman is more controlled.
She's more emotional.
Speaking of a sugar high,
and she has no control. Like she doesn't hold back. She goes 100% all out all the time. Superman is like 50 to 70 against his strongest opponents. 100 if it's a crazy war like Darkseid.
Man.
If he's literally fighting a god.
One day I'm going to end up killing this bird with what I feed him, but basically it's a sugar high. You're about to see what a 1 ounce bird is like on half an ounce of sugar. So
Premeditated murder.
no,
We have it on recording.
I started giving. He is supposed to be drawn away by or pushed away by peppermint. Peppermint bothers birds, bothers lovebirds.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a bad habit. He'll sit on my chest, but then he'll look up and he'll start picking the hair out of my beard. And so I figured, okay, I got an idea. And I bought some peppermint sticks and I was chewing on one and he looks at it and he comes walking up and he bites in that peppermint stick and it was like instant addiction. This is supposed to, just the smell of it is supposed to make him go away. But instead, he becomes a freaking look at him now.
He developed an immunity.
He's wired now. But the freaking crack addict here, all I got to do is bring up a peppermint stick, and he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, please."
I imagine Christmas must be particularly hard. What with all the candy canes?
Oh, Gail's already experienced. She was eating a candy cane, and he. Okay, give me it.
Well, you can't have him on your tree unattended because he'll just go in the tree.
Tweet. No, he's actually afraid of it, but yeah.
Wait,
Okay,
he's afraid of the tree?
now he's wired. Now he's wired. He wants the candy back.
Oh god.
There you go.
Nah, you know what's funny?
There you go.
It's gonna
Okay,
be like
my little addict.
your bird really hit the same position on. It's like, hey, if I consume a small amount enough of poison, I might become immune.
Well, it does. Look, earlier that we started this off, I was feeling it from the onions. Thankfully, as time goes on, it passes. I've been drinking water like nobody's business. Yeah, and it was only about that much onions right there, and it was just, but it poisons. What can you say?
Yeah.
Is that a pink bed curtain above you authenticator?
Yes.
All righty. Hello, dear poor twiddles. Wait, now, okay, thank you, Miss So. Thank you. I am told I spoil the heck out of my bird. And he is my bird now. He's supposed to be Gail's. It's supposed to be Elizabeth's, but he's mine. Let's face it. I am told I spoil him, but thank you. Yes. Oh, poor dear Twiddles, right? You are being abused. Go away.
So
I'm abusing you. Leave now.
One of my friends who lives in Wisconsin with me too, he shared this. This is like the radar.
Hold on just a sec.
So basically, whatever the fuck's going on.
That's
yeah. Apparently, my brothers were excited because the school is already pre-canceled for tomorrow. According to
you guys having a hurricane?
No, snowstorm.
Thunder snow up north.
Yeah, because we live in the part of we live in the part of the United States that actually has winter. Thank you, England team.
You know, I used to live in that area. Then I moved.
Ethereal, the bird has chosen me. Well, what era did you live in?
Oh, I lived in Michigan.
Michigan,
like Grand Rapids, yeah.
Now, my daughter moved up there. She says she's enjoying the snow so far, but
well, and my friend who lives down in Florida, she said, I grew up in Michigan. I moved out of there because I got tired of trying to shovel my car out.
Yeah. I wonder if she has gone through the little puddle that ends up flooding the floorboards of your car. It's like, no, it's I can make it. It's small. Okay, hey, welcome to Florida.
Well, yeah, you ever drive it? People do that down south too. They're like, I got the truck, and they're going through, and then it's like it's up the door. Like,
you can. Oh my gosh, he's all wired up now. He's attacking me. You can tell newbies because they're like, it's a rainy day, traffic slow. I can pass on the shoulder, and then they end up getting stuck in the mud.
They get pulled into the swamp of sadness from Never Ending Story.
Oh no.
And Austin P is saying, snow. I want to wash my hair, my face, my head in snow. All right.
Yeah, the only snow you guys have down there is the kind that you snort.
Whoa.
That in Florida.
Yeah. I'm in
Well,
Florida.
okay, no. They also have ice cream. They do also have ice cream.
We have snow cones. But yes, the stuff we call snow is, yeah.
Let's not forget the most infamous thing of all, the Florida man coming in various entities.
Yes, there is an interesting batch of people down here.
The guy who broke into a bar just because he wanted to have a Dr. Pepper, and the cop showed up to arrest him. He's like, I just want a Dr. Pepper. I stopped, and I didn't want a Dr. Pepper. So he broke into a bar, and he's just sitting there. He's like, let me finish my Dr. Pepper, then you can arrest me.
Are we absolutely sure that the population of Florida is entirely 100% human? Because there have been stories about genetic experimentation in Florida for many years, and some people blame the chupacabra and the skunk ape on it. So are we absolutely sure that the genetic makeup of the Florida population is entirely human? Can anyone check that? Independent genetic contractors, can you check that for me?
Part of Florida is actually... I was gonna say part of Florida is actually
codename Englantine. We've got one. Pennsylvania. He's figured it out.
Yeah. If you look at Florida though,
Dalton Mortimer.
There's a lot of Gary Busey kids.
I will not be silent.
So I got a package
You
coming
didn't
for you.
describe him well enough for that to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You wouldn't have to. It's Florida Man. We'll just take out everything Dalton or Mortimer.
Oh no. He's gonna wake up, open his door.
I just want everyone to know that I am not experiencing any suicidal urges. So if anything happens to me, somebody Epstein somebody.
How did he get the rope up there to hang himself? He's in a wheelchair. Okay, fuck you. I use a walker, but nevertheless, yeah, I can't jump, so vertical challenging, and I'm also like 5'4", so good luck with that. Luck with that cover story.
Oh no! It would be more like you died drowning in your cereal.
Wow. Not him going out like.
Whoa, that got deep and dark. What the heck? No,
not him going out like how my boy did in Glass. Dang.
Yeah, we're gonna drown you in a puddle in Glass.
Okay, no. Hold on. If I'm anyone from Glass, I'm definitely Mr. Glass. So fuck you. I'm getting broken the old-fashioned way, and then it's gonna turn out that I saved everything in a file, and I won anyway. I love that fucking movie.
Honestly, good movie. Honestly,
honestly, it was all right.
No. The reason why I said it, right? It's subverts the expectations. People are like, "Oh, the characters." I'm like, "Nah, this ain't about the characters, bro. It's about the world building." Versus Marvel, oh yeah, we gotta make everything connected.
Well,
Nobody knew.
For as much as people give the character shit, I will say this: Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, is one of the most relatable villains ever.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. That would be a horrible way to die. Yes, it would. So stop with the alien stuff. Maranya says, don't bring up Florida Man to Englantine. He hates that comic book. It's along the lines of that comic book with the cosmic cube being barfed into
Secret Empire.
Look, Florida people are Florida people because they're not stupid and they still do crazy shit. Okay, I'm not saying everybody in Florida is smart. We do have our little country bumpkins and so forth in the swamp. Okay, but no, it's better if it's the average guy doing the stupid shit, which most of Florida. Okay, that's us.
Is the reason they talk about Florida Man because California's in lockdown. There's nothing exciting going on over there.
Oh, California.
Remember that Florida man that once shot a raccoon thinking it was a Black Panther?
Remember the woman who got banished from Disney for life because she stole a cucumber off of one of the nature rides?
We did a video on that too. That's a real thing. Somebody was in. They were riding through the land at Epcot, and they've got this area. It's like an indoor farm, and this girl decided that the souvenir she wanted was one of the cucumbers. So she jumps out of the boat, grabs a cucumber off the vine, runs, or tries to anyway, and then realizes the boat's leaving her behind, runs to get into it and gets dragged for a little bit. It was, they're stupid people. I think
all of this for a cucumber, mind you. It wasn't even one of the most interesting souvenirs.
I don't think she's actually Florida Man because she failed.
Well, Florida girl went to Vegas a couple years back and dressed as Minnie Mouse, got in a fight outside of a hotel.
Who'd she fight though?
Another Karen.
Wait a minute. The perfect battle: capitalism versus Karens. Who will actually win?
Karens actually care though.
No,
That's
the
okay.
perfect battle is the Helen Lovejoys versus the Karens. That's a fight I want to see, and
Yes.
hopefully they destroy each other, and we'll
Well,
all be better off.
Miss So is true though. The Florida man, how do you know where he's Florida man? Because it's a melting pot. You know, there's not everyone that lives there now is from Florida. Angleton's a dying breed. Actually, aren't you from Texas?
No, I am from Florida, but because my father was in the military, I was born in Texas.
Ah,
I have no earthly idea what an El Paso is, other than a city in Texas. But
That's
yeah,
where
technically, I was born in El Paso.
El Paso is where you pass on the side of the, like I'm passing you up. El Paso.
Yeah, El Paso is the one part of the wall they decided, nah, this town needs to die. Now,
I'm just waiting for the next 50 years or so, because eventually all the woke crap is gonna work its way into Florida too, and we'll get Florida's years and years instead of Florida men and women. It'll be Florida years.
They should just make Florida Gotham and just flood it. You know?
Well, I mean, it's already a swamp. How much more flooding do they need?
You said it's a swamp, so
yeah,
that must mean we might get Swamp Thing.
If they want to do a Killer Croc story, though, they could do the actual not Killer Croc, the lizard story. You could have done that with him down in Florida.
Yep.
See, California could see a tsunami of immigrants. Isn't a lot of Florida transplants as far as folks moving there who are not. Well, yeah, there's a lot of people who come to Disney and they're like, oh, this place is wonderful, I want to live here, and then they get here and go, where's the air conditioning? Actually, I'm surprised that they still count air conditioning as an option in a car. It's not. It is no way.
You ever hear the joke about why there are so many retirees in Florida? They heard the Fountain of Youth was supposed to be there, and they all went looking for it.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I actually drank from the Fountain of Youth. I kid you not.
You killed a kid?
I think you may have chosen the wrong Grail there, my friend.
Well, no, it's true though. They do have it. They have it kind of. It's in a building now, and it's still fountain, and they've got little cups that you can actually take a drink out of the Fountain of Youth, and they don't filter it, so it's a spring, right? And it kind of bubbles up through the top of a rock, and you could you take a drink right out of the water from the rock, and it tastes like dirt.
Again, to quote the knight from Last Crusade, you have chosen poorly.
No, actually, it was kind of fun. I mean, look, the only difference only thing I didn't like about it, because I've drank spring water before, is that it's not a cold spring. Like we've got a springs right around the corner from us down the road, and it is freaking freezing. And I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance to drink from a cold spring, do it. It is some of the most refreshing water. But when you jump in, however, you are risking a heart attack because it is freezing.
Yeah, you definitely get a hypothermia.
Ethereal Dragons bringing up aren't all Northerners in southern Florida. Actually, that's true. Back in the reason we fought the Civil War is so we can get a hold of Florida.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, we get a number.
So we could sell it back to Spain.
We get a number of people who come here because of Disney, and there's a lot of jobs. Also, Miami gets a lot of people, not only from the north, but it's filled with Cubans who have migrated from there or done whatever. Key West. Yeah. Key West is surprisingly homogenized. I mean, there is. It's not like all white, but a lot of rich people there, and yeah.
I don't think there was any Civil War battles down in New York part of
or at least it was when I went, and that I got to admit was about 10 or 12 years ago.
When actually did the U.S. get rights to Florida? Because weren't they still technically a Spanish colony during the Civil War? Or am I mixing years up?
I don't think Florida was a part of the Civil War, but yeah.
No, they were too busy having Mount-Tais and just chill on the beach.
They have hurricanes in Florida. Florida. That's a weird thing. I mean, you guys have actually watched me live stream during hurricanes. Hurricanes for Orlando, they're either I mean, look, I've had some that were destructive. I've had some that weren't. The weird thing is the last one was kind of weak. Bless you. The last one was kind of weak, and it still knocked out our power. So I don't know. Only the rich people can afford to live there, kind of like Hamptons in the East Coast. Yeah, Key West is gorgeous, and we used to go all the time. I liked going down there because there's a strip of bars, and I don't drink. It's not for that, but it would always have new bands, like garage bands would just go to Key West. It's like a migration area for
the next time DeSantis wants to send some people somewhere, he should send them there instead of
what?
Martha's Vineyard.
Screw the freaking illegal aliens. Can I get the freaking Martha Vineyard's vacation, please? That would be awesome.
And they would consider you scummy enough for it to be a national incident because you're one of the wrong thinkers, and that makes us as bad as the worst human filth, apparently.
Ahsoka is saying 1819. The Civil War was around 40, 50 years later, and Florida was made a state in 1845.
Okay, thank you for keeping me honest, Ahsoka, because it's been a while since I studied that particular section of history.
Yeah, there's some weird shit in Florida that I don't like. There's some weird shit in Florida I love. I'm also somebody who, if we are going from one city to another and we're really traveling, I like to stop at the diviest restaurants because it's usually like some couple or some guy that opened this thing up and knows how to cook one thing. So
mom and pop shop.
Yeah, I love those restaurants. One of the worst things ever. There's a bridge in Tallahassee that you're not allowed to stop on, but it's also a breeding ground for a certain bird. So what you have is it's illegal to stop on it, but you'll have all these birds trying to cross. So as you're driving along, it is paved with bird bone. It's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. So there's good, there's bad in Florida, just like everywhere else. So.
Okay, so 1845 is when it became a state. I knew it was fairly close to when the Civil War was starting, and that was why they set it out. I just didn't know if it was during or if it was just before.
Miss So saying, I love the weather in Florida since I grew up in the heat, but the Georgia, she lived in Georgia, but the hurricane stuff would be scary. And it made me think that, yeah, for the most part, it either hits Florida or North Carolina. I guess you guys might get grazed.
Alabama gets all the tornadoes and everything else. The tornado alley there, they just had 6 or 7 right around the area.
Huh.
The other night or 2 nights ago.
That is, look, we've had tornadoes here. I've actually seen one form in front of me. That was amazing.
We've get them up here too. I'm like, really? This far up? Just stay down there.
Yeah. This is a southern problem. We freeze.
Yeah, no, we only get really, really small ones, and in my particular area, we don't even get those because we're like right dead center in the middle of a valley, so there's mountains all around us that tend to break shit up.
So
there's a small town outside of Tallahassee called St. Mark's. It's a coastal area, and we were traveling down it, and I saw a tornado cross the road. It's just like, and I was like, okay, we're going home now.
That would have been funny. What if it stopped during it sees a stop sign, just stops and then it's like, all right, you can go.
Yeah, the car goes by and I mean, but I know that the thing is, I thought, okay, my worry was if it crossed the road, it hits the trees. But if it didn't hit the trees, the easy way would be going up the road towards us. So I figured we can go to St. Mark's tomorrow. Let's turn around.
Yeah, I mean, down there by you, you're even more chance of getting Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Up here, I get if I can, dude. We're gonna get Snowado with all the crazy weather. We got rain or snow. We're gonna get both.
Oh, you want to talk about rain? I'm in Illinois now, and we get so much rain. It's not even funny,
dude.
I'm sorry. You're where?
In Illinois.
Okay, where are you from? Where are you from originally, though?
Michigan.
Okay, yeah, because no one in Illinois says Illinois. My wife put me straight on that one.
Yeah, it's Illinois. They don't say the S at the end.
Well, I do.
Yeah,
just to be a contrary.
That's like in Florida. Florida people actually call it Florida dude. and you should argue that and never back down if somebody corrects you on Twitter. And
I'm not going to get a fight with a Florida man. Are you
and
insane?
at me
I'm
so
willing
I can watch
I'm
the
willing
argument.
I'm willing
Yes.
to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, Miss So's just gonna dox herself. Say, hey, I'm in Lake County. Where are you?
Yo,
Hey, I'm near Milwaukee, so in Wisconsin. So I'm like in between Chicago and Milwaukee. So I'm like,
Question: if you saw
I get
her-
robbed either way. Which I go.
If you saw a hurricane in the ocean, could you outdrive it? Yes. Yeah. Generally, they're not incredibly fast, but here's the problem: if you can see the hurricane and it's out in the ocean, there, more than likely you're already feeling some heavy winds. You're getting some good waves, so more than likely you're not even on the coast to see it, unless you're someone who's like if you're into surfing and you want the big waves. And I do know some people who do that. They're like, nah, it's a hurricane, man. We're going to go out to the coast, grab a few, and then we're going to come on back. Good luck.
Scariest thing is it being on a boat and seeing a water spout. The water tornadoes.
Kind of cool. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm getting pulled into. Oh crap!
oh no.
Where in Illinois?
Oh,
North?
I'm not gonna disclose that.
Are you north or south?
Okay. My
South.
wife was
Okay.
in Evanston.
I'm pretty close to Kentucky. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say this at least, Baca. Nobody here is going to show up at your house. At the very least,
For me,
we're
it's a long
incredibly
drive.
lazy. Yeah.
I hate tolls. I'm not going to Illinois for any reason.
So have you ever been to, what was it, Shots Brewery? What was it that Laverne and Shirley worked at?
Oh, and you're asking me or him?
You're the one Milwaukee person, right?
I've been down
Milwaukee?
to Milwaukee, but I've never heard of that brewery though.
Okay.
Bro, I said I've been there for passed by for one time.
1, 2, 3, 4. What is that? Schlemiel, Schlemazel. I remember that show. Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
going
been through
off.
Pabst Brewery, the older one. They actually converted it into apartment buildings complex.
Kamicon. Hello, I just saw news. I'm heckin' mate. Oh, mad. Okay.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Kamicon. We're kind of all over the place right now, but
Kind of mellowed out. We got our anger. We're still angry, but we're just too tired to be angry.
We're like, oh,
I'm just chilling.
Short version is it's
Yeah.
a series of stupid decisions, and it's probably the exact opposite decision they should have made. But oh well.
If there's anything I can say, I'm glad they haven't remade
Good night,
V for
Ahsoka.
Vendetta.
What were you saying there, Baca?
Oh, I said if there's one thing that I am glad about, I'm glad that they have not remade V for Vendetta. To be honest,
So far,
Yeah,
so
no,
good. I mean, why
that
would
movie
you?
is a classic. They couldn't remake it if they wanted to,
They
especially not
could.
right now.
It wouldn't be good though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know what they
Yeah.
choose? Keanu Reeves.
You know, I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that, to be honest.
But the biggest problem of doing a V for Vendetta remake today is, unfortunately, they would make it more like the V for Vendetta comic. And for those that don't know, there was a massive philosophical shift in between the book and the movie, because the book was written, of course, by 80s Alan Moore, who
Yeah.
was basically patient zero for all the anarcho-communist Antifa crap, such that in the comics, V is supposed to be an anarcho-communist fighting a fascist regime. In the movie, however, he's supposed to be a classical liberal pushed to the brink of violence by a fascist regime with Bushite warmongering overtones.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that made the movie better, that they philosophically shifted it, even though it pissed Alan Moore off.
Okay.
What
Comic-Con.
doesn't make him mad though?
Let me address this one, because he's saying he will return, just not in the capacity that it needs to be. Plus, who wants to wait for a new young Superman? Let me tell you something I haven't mentioned before, because I'm sure everybody's going to point it out, even though I'm noticing that RDV has some salt in the pepper in his beard here himself. I'm 52 years old. And look, and if I wanted to act like I'm 6, I'm 52 and a half years old.
Mhm.
I don't want to fucking wait another 5 years for a DC movie. I don't want to wait. I'm sorry. That's one of the reasons why release that fucking Bad Girl movie. Okay. I want to see the freaking movies now, because I don't want to wait anymore. I got more years behind me than I do ahead of me. I've been waiting for this shit for all the, as I said before, for freaking 20 years of my adult movie watching life, I had to sit through hundreds and hundreds of romantic comedies, police procedurals, buddy cop films, stupid, what were the Grafton novels turned into movies. I'm sorry, but when the superhero movies hit, it was our time. It was our geek time to watch all of these characters brought to screen. And I don't want to wait another 10 years for James Gunn and DC to get off their ass.
Okay.
Get us in movies now. Stop canceling what's already done. And just get your shit out now. Anyway.
But Eglinton, here's the monkey's paw problem with that, which is if they rush into whatever the next iteration is going to be, all of the movies are going to be bad. And here's the big sort of nuclear, mime in the field problem with this. Given that Marvel is kind of on a downturn right now itself, and given that DC is, as ever, permafucked, if DC can't get its shit together this time around, it may very well kill the genre. And I don't want to see the genre die just because you couldn't be patient.
They could put Batgirl out. They could put the movies and the TV shows that are already finished or at least in some way, shape, put them out. Let us have the content, and you've got 2 years to get that first movie on the screen. Get it on the goddamn screen.
Yeah, release the movies you're gonna do here. You don't want to do a new one with Cavill. Okay, cool. But then you never should have told him, hey, come back. We'll give you a movie.
And
that's really stupid.
Nothing needs to be $400 million. That nothing does. Okay. Let's get past the fact that you need $150 to $200 million to make a Batman movie. You don't. That just got proven. I like that film because it was a detective movie more than it was any big action film. What were you about to say, Venk?
I was going to say, if they're worried about advertising, losing money on advertising, they did the best thing they could for Batgirl. They denied you, said it's going to be canceled. They release it now. They don't need the advertising. Oh my gosh, it's finally out. That's news.
Yeah, I know, right? They put it on HBO Max. They got people who are curious.
And it'll be the next Birds of Prey, and we'll weep for the genre again. Unfortunately,
I didn't do it with Birds of Prey. I just said Birds of Prey is a suck film. It's the only one I actively dislike.
No.
There are movies I like less than others, but that's the only one that I actively dislike.
Yeah, Eglinton is probably the most lenient of all of us on this particular subgenre of movies.
So the other thing I saw against your theory is that they're using James Gunn as their punching bag. The WB is, or they want him to be the scapegoat for all the hate. They're still going to do the same decisions, but they're going to have James Gunn. Hey, everybody loves James Gunn, and everybody's going to be mad at James Gunn and not them.
So they're not even letting James Gunn be James Gunn. They're basically turning him into the Bob Chapek of the
so FRAGMINION saying maybe they'll bring back Cavill, make him Superman, and then do the young Superman and do John Kemp version with the pink trans terrorist activist boyfriend.
Oh, God.
You know what they need to just do? Just you know what? At this point, if I got to see a 20-year list from Marvel and DC, just make Elseworld stories. If you're gonna cancel a movie, you might as well, like, considering what Ezra Miller has done already, bro. You got money to throw out. Just at least make something of quality. At least make something of quality. The least you can do is spend maybe $100 million. You don't need all this CGI. You don't need it. $100 million. Drop a movie, Elseworld story. That's it.
Okay, I have an idea, and I've had this idea since before the DCEU ever got rolling. Considering that Marvel basically owns the Silver Age of comics, but they only have 2 characters in the Golden Age, and they've already used both of them.
Yeah.
DC, do Golden Age period pieces and have the like world, combining capstone be a Justice Society movie. We've already seen that the Justice Society can test well. Pierce Brosnan was an excellent Kent Nelson, Dr. Fate. Please, for the love of God, give me a Golden Age period piece DC universe before I die, especially because Marvel can't follow you there. DC owns the Golden Age, Marvel owns the Silver Age. These are the facts. Use them to your advantage, goddammit.
So Dalton, you know who runs it then? Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns proved to a Stargirl he can do a JSA stuff.
Now wait a minute.
But then we're gonna get New 52, and I hate New 52,
All right.
especially because of the goddamn possession retcon.
Okay, kids, I've got to call it here. I just saw that we've been 2.5 hours in, and I do actually want to go say hello to my wife and give her the bird. This one, not this one. This one stays with me. Anyway, let's see what's going on this week. Tomorrow, faux show, 9 o'clock. Going to finish up the Christmas Carol. I've got a box of comics coming. I'll show you what's coming up in the auction. I think we will be home. Gail's saying we will be home in time for the auction. It might be 9 o'clock though, so I'll make sure there's less lots. What do you have going on?
Well, tomorrow it sounds like you'll be streaming against me. I have my Geeky Pup show I always have on 8 o'clock Central, and I go till about 9:30.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
So,
all right.
It's basically the best of the week. We do every week. So we basically talk about the books that came out this week, and then we see what because every Tuesdays we do top 5 to see which books we're excited about, and which we think are going to be the best. It's a follow-up stream we do.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you want to watch us for an hour, then then watch him, or watch us a replay. I don't care. It's like watch both content. If you like it.
Yeah, I'll start at 9. You know, give you time to go through 9:30 maybe. Yeah. And if you guys haven't, give it a shot. I haven't read Christmas Carol in decades, so I figured, what the heck, I'm going to read it, but if I'm doing, and I got it digitally, so if I'm doing something in front of the camera like that, might as well turn on the camera and make a video. I used to do that kind of thing all the time, and I kind of want to get back to it. I got something to say. Turn on this camera and go. I used to start live streams whenever I didn't schedule anything. It's just, let's go.
Whenever the spirit moved you, basically.
Yeah. Holy shit, this pisses me off. I want to talk about it now. And I'm kind of getting back into this. In this case, I was reading the Christmas Carol. If you're in the car, or even don't feel like you have to watch it, you can listen to it. But if you're in the car, you're doing something like that, turn it on, give it a shot. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you would like to hear other books. I've been wanting to do Cycle of the Werewolf for 3 years now. I think if this is not successful, by the way, but I had a lot of fun reading it. And
my only question is, you do the dialogue. Do you do the different accents for different characters?
I change the tone more than do accents and such. The ghost of Christmas present, or past, was that because he's supposed to be ethereal. He was described as ethereal.
Wait, Leo Dragon? Huh.
You're mimicking the Jim Carrey one again.
Yes, because I thought that was perfect. Yes. But the thing is I don't want to do silly accents or anything.
I'm going to say silly accents, but I'm just saying you're just trying to
any accent I try to do is sound silly.
Well, my thing is, if you just read
right now,
I'm Jim.
Right now, this is me doing my black accent. So I really am just not that strong.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by black? What do you mean by that?
Whoa, Baka, what you saying? Just because I'm a white man, I can't be black?
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Technically,
you can. Technically, you can because transracial exists. According
I know,
to
right?
movies.
That's so freaking crazy. That's so
crazy.
I hereby publicly disavow this section of live stream on the grounds that it's going to get cooked by hell in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Baka. Hey, Baka. This is exactly Twitter, right? The black guy doesn't get offended, but the white guy's offended for you. Okay, welcome to Twitter.
That's America.
I just gotta say one thing.
To be fair, I'm not offended. I just know the people that do get offended are going to pitchfork and torch. So
yeah, this is the one thing that I've always found weird. It's like, if you talk, if you talk with actual proper, English etiquette, you talk white. It's like, what do you mean I talk white? It's like you talk proper.
That's not
well, guess what?
At all, is it?
Exactly. I'm like, bruh, and it's worse is being missed because they're like, oh, you act too white. It's like, so because I'm in the comics and stuff, I act too white. Oh, but I'm too black because I'm in. It's like, nah, look, I'm me. My race doesn't define me.
And that.
But you thinking that means you're possessed by the demon of whiteness, Derp.
If you want to irritate a leftist black person, every time they refer to themselves as a person of color, ask them what color. I had a guy on and he was talking, and every time it would be, as a person of color, I was like, what color? And he was like, after a while, he understood. Stop saying that. We know you're black. It's okay.
Now, what I can say though, I ain't gonna lie. When they started using the word when they started using the word color, like you're colored, I'm like, wait a minute, that seems a little derivative, don't you think? A little bit of racially motivated. I'm just saying.
In the 80s, that's a fighting word. Yeah. Because in the 80s, that the black person you just called colored would go, I'm sorry, I was born that way, and then you're in a fight.
Yep, exactly. Bar fight.
I mean, if anyone should be canceled, it should be me. I'm always voicing Luke Cage on the other channel.
Hey, look, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do, bro. If you can't pay somebody, you do what you got to do, bro.
I mean, I voiced Luke Cage on the Geeky Puppet Show. We always make a riot out of it. I always call the other characters honkies.
Oh wow!
Well, that's Luke Cage.
That's classic Luke Cage.
1970s all over. Archie Marvel has the balls to get Kurt Busiek or Alex Russ to write Golden Age Marvel. That would be interesting. That would be fun.
It would be. Not modern day Kurt Busiek.
Austin is saying you started something, which is what you did was you started the first 45 minutes of the goodbye.
Dang.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that happens.
We do this.
Okay,
like kids, we're gonna leave, and then something is said, and you just got to ride this out.
Yep.
3.5 hours later.
We can't leave on a good run like this. As a dragon, I find most of your human stuff weird, says Ethereal. All righty, and on that note, kids, once again, check out Geeky Puppet Show tomorrow, and then afterwards, come back over here. It is chapter 3 and 4 of A Christmas Carol, and it has been so much fun to do this. Please check out chapter 1 and 2. It is straight up. I'm reading the book. It's very animated. It's not like I'm not reading it like the stupid 5th grader who I don't know what. And now he said this, blah, blah. It's not like that. I try to be animated and so forth and so on. So check that out. Listen to it in your car. Maybe it's your thing. Maybe it's not. Let me know in the comments below. Not on this video, but on those. Yeah. And as that says, please, by the way, go on over to Ko-Fi. Drop $1 in the tip jar if you like these videos and everything. Love to thank everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Have a good night, kids.
Later.